Living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have the pain again. Call Rhino Shield today.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Vacations are coming back, so before you hit the road, get your vehicle checked out by the pros at Honda of the Avenues. Honda of the Avenues Service Department continues to get 5 stars for their certified technicians using certified parts. The new Express Service Center is now open, so stop by if you need an oil change, tires, battery, wiper blades, or if you need any repairs to your vehicle. Awarded the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award. Honda of the Avenues. Easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Spring savings are popping at Beard's Diamonds.
Buy one, get one is back at Beard's.
No other jewelry store in North Florida can match it. Buy any band and get the other band free. Yes, it's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands.
Going on now
Through the 25th.
and only at Beard's Diamonds. Beard's has brought in cases of inventory with the latest styles from the hottest designers just for this sale.
It's the largest selection of men's and women's wedding bands in North Florida. Buy any wedding band and get the other band free.
If you're getting married soon or want to upgrade your wedding bands, now is the time during Beard's Buy One, Get One sale. But hurry.
The buy one, get one sale ends on the 25th. Shop hundreds of designs at beardsdiamonds.com.
Now you can go bigger and better with the setting she's always dreamed of during Beard's Buy One, Get One sale.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed, at Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi at this hour. Nets forward Lamarcus Aldridge announced his retirement from the NBA, citing an irregular heartbeat. The 35-year-old, the second overall pick in the 2006 draft, was diagnosed with a heart condition his rookie year. Major League Baseball celebrating Jackie Robinson Day today on this 74th anniversary of the Dodgers Hall of Famer's MLB debut and breaking of the sport's color barrier. Robinson's legacy not limited to baseball, explains ESPN's Doug Glanville.
The door he was opening was well beyond the sports realm, and that he was not going to stick to sports because he couldn't stick to sports. He was the voice and ultimately the empowerment for people to see equality in each other and to actually turn it into something that's not just a tenet, but actually a way of life.
Doug Glanville on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. On the field, the Red Sox riding a 9-game winning streak, trailing the Twins 2-0 bottom 5. NCAA placed the USC men's basketball program on 2 years probation for a former associate coach's role in the national bribery scandal. Trojans did avoid a postseason ban.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
This is the Max. Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Or is it a happy Thursday? Or is it a little bit of an annoyed Thursday? I was going to wait till Brent got in here to talk about this, but it's been on my mind, and Brent will be here momentarily. I'm sure he's caught in some traffic, doing some work, doing what he has to do. And I don't like starting battle. I don't like starting the show out with battles against essentially the head honchos that we work for in ESPN. Okay? But this whole narrative of one article in Sports Illustrated, and all of a sudden, quote-unquote, NFL experts are getting turned off now to the fact of, does Trevor Lawrence truly want to play football? Does he care about football? Should the Jaguars draft him? Are you kidding me right now? Like, and I understand, right? Slow news cycle right now. We're about 2 weeks before the draft or whatever it is. So we got to find stories. We got to nitpick at stuff to get people responding and to get those reactions. And congratulations, ESPN. You put the bait out there. I took it hook, line, and sinker, and I'm chewing it up, man. My entire mouth right now is on the hook. It is stuck in my jaw, and you got a live one right now, ESPN. You got a live one. And this isn't just one person I'm calling out here. I mean, this is essentially the entire narrative now of the national media over Trevor Lawrence essentially saying there's more to life than football. Oh, I'm sorry. Was he breaking news for anybody? Like, let me take you behind the locker room real quick. Let me take you behind the curtain, and let me talk to you about football players. Is football important? You better believe it. We grew up playing it as kids. It gave a lot of people better lives. Like, anybody in that locker room, they love the game of football. But they also love other stuff as well, okay? There's family people. There's faith-based people. There's all walks of life in that locker room. And, yeah, football is kind of the constant that brings everybody together. But I guess what I'm having a hard time seeing is why we need to feel the need to nitpick Trevor Lawrence now and say, well, he doesn't really care. You know, if I was Jacksonville, I would be nervous right now. Like, Zach Wilson wants to play the game of football. If Justin Fields would have said what Trevor Lawrence said, what would we be talking about right now? Well, to put that to bed right now, if Trevor Lawrence played a game like Justin Fields did against Northwestern, or like Justin Fields did against Indiana, then yeah, I'd probably have an issue with what Trevor Lawrence had to say. But guess what? Trevor Lawrence is the, without a doubt, unequivocally #1 overall prospect coming out of this draft. So as far as I'm concerned, Trevor Lawrence has earned the right to say whatever he wants to say. And I don't get where this whole narrative is coming from of we got to question someone's desire to play football. Where was this energy when guys last year were opting out because of COVID-19? I didn't hear anybody say, oh, do they truly love football? They're just going to abandon their teammates over COVID-19? Why? Oh, I'm sorry, because maybe some things are more important than the game of football, okay? And the fact that Trevor Lawrence came in that article and said, what does he want to do? He wants to be the best to ever do it. Do you need any more bulletin board material? Does he need any more motivation? He put it out there for you. Okay, so I'm not sure what more you want him to say, what more you want him to do. I guess what I need from the experts and what I need from the national media is I need you guys to come out here and say exactly how much time he should spend in the locker room per day, how much time he should spend watching film, what he should say in press conferences, and what he should say in the quotes. Because apparently we have a preconceived notion of what a quarterback should say, what he should do, and how he should be a leader. And it absolutely drives me nuts.
Yeah, baby, go get him. Way to walk in, stroll in a couple minutes late, and I can hear Austin all the way down the hall. I love it.
There it
We're
is.
not even in Shock Your Mock time yet.
Yeah, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, baby.
How we doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah. Just calling out the calling out the head honchos, man. Calling out the mothership.
By the way, we talked about this article yesterday. I knew this part would come out about it.
Oh, yeah,
I thought we had a reasonable discussion about and I think it should be reasonably discussed.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the article itself was phrased in the point where they even set the table for this.
Mm-hmm.
They said, listen, football fans, they don't care about this stuff, right? They just want football. Let's be honest. Folks in the building, they can sit there and claim they want this life balance and hope your family's well. And they want your football, right? I mean, they want you dedicated. There's a degree of that, but they want the most out of your football, too. I mean, there's selfish reasons for everybody involved. They're paying you a lot of money. They want the most out of you. I mean, it's the nature of sports and athletics. Heck, it's the nature of business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, they have to say some things to kind of massage that a little bit. And I'm not saying there's no sense of that. Everybody would love in a perfect world, happy at home, happy at work, working 16 hours a day, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
But there is this thing in football, and football has set the table for this. It's like, it's the same that goes with coaching. Not just football has done this, but coaching in general. It's like if you don't have a cot in the office, you're a bad coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's always been the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not there let's just say if you're playing for the Jags and Trevor Lawrence or David Garrard or whoever doesn't show up till 7 o'clock, where you been, man? Right? I mean,
we don't
quarterbacks are 5:30, 6 o'clock in the building guy.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't they almost have to be 5:30, 6 o'clock?
The way offenses work and everything, quarterbacks are the first ones to show up and the last ones to leave.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the preconceived notion of what we think about the quarterback position. But it's not always like that.
That's true. And guys like Peyton Manning and Brady and so have put in so much work and have lived it and breathed it and all that stuff that they put that kind of work in. Like that's like a normal day for them. They want it. Do that. My guess is, by the way, Trevor Lawrence does the same thing, but it's just kind of an interesting standard to set. Like, I believe that if you found a quarterback that wasn't in there from 6A until 7P, then that quarterback would probably be knocked in a sense. They'd be like, well, why isn't he working as hard as these other guys?
But knocked by who, though? His teammates or the media?
Well, definitely from the outside world. I don't know how well the outside world would know that. I bet some teammates would even knock because especially veteran guys goes like, oh, that's not how Peyton Manning did it or whoever did it. Quarterback's supposed to be in here first, leave last, all that stuff. It's
the most time. I mean, Favre didn't do that. And no, I don't think so. Favre didn't show up to training camp, man. Like,
well, I think the offseason stuff can be a little bit different. But
okay, but isn't that another classic example of, well, do you really care about the game of football if you don't want to get better at training camp?
Well, Tom Brady didn't show up to OTAs toward the end either.
Then why aren't we chastising Tom Brady for not showing up to OTAs?
I don't remember if they did. I think they questioned it. They wondered a little bit. Is that where all the stuff came out? Oh, is he unhappy and things in New England? You know what I mean?
See, but my point is that we don't chastise Tom Brady. We don't chastise when Brett Favre didn't show up to training camp. Like, the national media doesn't do that. And why don't they do that? Well, because we kind of have a good track record of who Brett Favre was as a football player and who Tom Brady was as a football player.
Equity.
Okay, very cool. You have equity? Very cool. Sounds good. Let's look at Trevor Lawrence's equity real quick. The guy's only lost 2 games in his entire football career, it seems like. Right? Like, high school, dominated it. College, even as a freshman, beat Alabama, dominated it. So, I'm sorry, all of a sudden he doesn't care about the game of football because no equity's built up? Have you followed him in high school or college? Because I followed him in college, and he built up some pretty good equity to me, but now we want to say, well, he hasn't earned the right to say that yet. Nah, man, it's not how it works.
Yeah, listen, there was a... I don't know if I've always believed this. I think when I was a younger lad, if you will, I would say, yeah, the way to outwork them is to punch in early and punch out late. Mm-hmm. I no longer believe that. I think what are you doing when you punched in and punched out is just as important of when you punched in and punched out. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody works with folks that are there, but are they getting anything done? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and that kind of changed my mentality. I was old sports director. I was like, I don't care if you're here 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. Just get what we're supposed to get done. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. And I think that's the nature of I think that should be the nature of probably everybody's job, really, but especially in sports. And if he has his own way of going about doing it, now there's leadership stuff. There's some subtle things in. I mean, you can't just show up, you know.
Yeah,
and some people can just show up and still perform.
Yeah.
But the quarterback can't.
But listen,
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Trevor Lawrence, be a leader for those guys in that locker room. Okay, I don't need you to be a leader for me or the media or the national media. You can do whatever you want to them, man. And I'm talking to myself personally as well. I don't really care what you think about us or how you treat us. I really don't care. If your teammates in that locker room respect you and they go to battle for you, then that's all we need. To me, the quotes, they're just words, man. And how can you just go off of one article of words when this guy, in my opinion, has built up the resume that he's built up already? And I get it. Slow news cycle, draft right around the corner. We got to talk about stuff. Trevor Lawrence, the overall number 1 pick. I get it, but I don't get it at the same time.
Do you think the Louis Riddick stuff we'll get into maybe even a little bit more on this, but
Well, I mean.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Justin
do you think
Fields?
that's a fair question to bring up if Justin Fields had said this? Would people be, because Justin Fields' stock has been all over the place. Then you have the black quarterback element of this.
Yeah.
So would Trevor Lawrence, does he actually have enough cachet and equity built on his high school performance, his bona fide number 1 stock, that he can go out in an article and say this, that it's less questioned, even though some question, but less questioned than a guy like Justin Fields, whose stock is kind of bouncing all over the place right now, right?
Yeah.
And I would go from that angle more than the black quarterback angle, but I understand that is an angle as well. I just think more right now that I don't know where Justin Fields is. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Is he a top 5 quarterback? Is San Francisco going to take him? Is he going to fall to number 15? Like, I really don't get a great feel for Fields based on these last couple of months. But I do think that's a fair question by Louis Riddick. If a guy like Fields, who does not have as much equity or whose stock is kind of all over the place and viewed differently, if he were to come out in an article like this and say the same exact things Trevor Lawrence would say, I do think he would get hammered a lot more. Do you?
I think he would, but not because of the color. Because I was one that said after that Indiana game, Justin Fields lost. Like I was off the Justin Fields bandwagon. Now it wasn't because he was a black quarterback. It was because you made some boneheaded decisions.
Yeah.
Any race of guy could do that. I think with what Trevor Lawrence has right now, once again, he's built up the equity. Now, if Trevor Lawrence goes out there against Syracuse or Duke and throws 3 or 4 interceptions and they're horrible plays and you're wondering, what is Trevor Lawrence doing? Then absolutely. Maybe we're questioning Trevor Lawrence right now. But guess what? Trevor Lawrence hasn't done that now, has he? That's why he's the number 1 pick overall. When you're number 1 pick overall, and once again, you built up the equity, I think you have a right to say whatever you want, because who's going to tell you differently? Because your performances speak for yourself. If you go back and watch Northwestern for Justin Fields, and you go back and watch Indiana, it's hard to let those performances just speak for themselves, because there is a lot of negatives to take away from that.
Yeah, listen, I found yesterday's article, and we talked about it this way. I knew this might be coming. Again, I'll just say that again. And I think any quarterback that would say it would have questions raised, and people are like, oh, what? What? Like, he didn't say, I can't wait to sleep at TIAA Bank and Jags headquarters and move my family into one of the meeting rooms? Like, he did not say that? Oh, my gosh, how do you not say that? You're the franchise quarterback, right? I knew people would do that. I think we had a good conversation about Trevor Lawrence, and I appreciate Trevor Lawrence for who he is, the fact that he's not afraid to say what he said. You know, this isn't a guy 20 years later saying it. This is an article that sometimes people would come out and say these kind of things some 10, 12, 15 years. If Tom Brady did it, it'd certainly be okay. Look at all the equity he built up. He's doing it beforehand, and because that's who he is, he's not trying to be somebody else. Like, I think it's good stuff. I think it also does beg the question that we asked yesterday. Like, how long will he play? Will he be a 12-year, 15-year, 20-year guy in the league? Will he be an 8 to 10-year guy? Will he be an Andrew Luck that maybe calls it quits before because it's not? I think those are fair questions based on the article. But I don't think I love that article because at the end of it, it summed it all up. And we talked about this on social media, and I read the line. But it was when his coach was trying to get goals out of him at Cartersville High School, he's like, I want to be the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
I mean, end of story. It actually was the end of that story, but it's the end of the story with Trevor. And I think I didn't even think Jags fans were taking a bad look at that article, like taking it the wrong way. I just kind of knew the actual national media would jump up. I mean, there's a lot of shows to fill. Some of the questions are valid. It doesn't scare me. Let's just say that. None of that stuff scares me. And I appreciated the article for who he is more than, oh, my gosh, should the Jags be concerned?
I think that when we look at last year with Gardner Minshew, we praised him because he was being himself. He said what he wanted to say. He acted like he wanted to act, and he was being true to himself. Trevor Lawrence is doing the exact same thing right now. And I think what Trevor Lawrence said in that Sports Illustrated article, I think a lot of players would love to say what he said, but they're not in his position.
Yeah.
I think Zach Wilson would like to say that. I think Justin Fields would like to say that. I think Trey Lance would like to say that. Once again, not bringing race into it. You can be white, black, whatever you want to be. I think a lot of people would want to say that. Heck, me coming on Murray State, I would want to say that. But no, what was I saying? I want to go in there and compete. I want to win a Super Bowl. Because, yes, it is all about those things. But once again, football isn't who you are. It's what you do. Now, it's a big part of what you do, but don't let it define you as who you are. There's a lot more to somebody than just football. And Trevor Lawrence understands that. I think Gardner Minshew understood that last year a little bit. And anytime these modern, quote-unquote, NFL players want to say that, there's going to be a narrative that says they don't take the game seriously. They're not good teammates, and you should be cautious of those guys. Nah, man. Everybody thinks that in the NFL locker room. They just have the balls enough to say it.
Yeah. Well, here's you just brought up Minshew, and it just got my brain rolling real quick because we've had these conversations. Minshew has oftentimes turned down endorsements and commercials and other things, but he also took some of those things, the stories. And I'm still not convinced, and as we go back into the Minshew story over the years and as more comes out down the road, I'm not convinced that stuff did not rub some of the folks in the building the wrong way.
Yeah.
From less players, more coaches, but maybe some players. Right? Have you done enough? Have you earned that? Right? That stuff. I mean, I really, old school mentality. Well, where does old school mentality come in? Usually comes in with the guys in the coach's office, not really in the locker room. Right?
Yeah.
That's the old school mentality stuff.
Yeah.
And so I sincerely do wonder if some of that stuff was viewed and looked upon as kind of me, and you're not fully focused and all that stuff. Now, that builds when you're not playing as well, or if you're not playing at all with injury. But I think it's a sincere question when it comes to Gardner Minshew. The other part of that is, and by the way, I don't think Gardner Minshew was doing anything wrong. Like I don't by doing what he did. I thought it was great, and I don't think it impacted his play or anything else. Again, It's like, can you go eat a salad somewhere? Is that going to impact how you prepare?
Yeah.
No. There's 24 hours in a day. You can only do so much.
I think his hand was what had the impact on his playing, obviously.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know the perception of him. This stuff might have had an impact on how people viewed him, I guess is my point. We are living in a different day, right? We're living in a world now where LeBron James feels comfortable enough to move to L.A. because he knows what's coming after or what he's a part of, Space Jam and all these other things. And by the way, won a championship.
Do you care about basketball, though? You're doing Space Jam now? You and Bugs Bunny hanging out? Do you really care about basketball in the Lakers, or are you just doing this for fun?
Well, let me be less. I don't want to be hypocritical here. I wondered about LeBron James in that sense. Is he looking at that too early? And I also wondered more so, less of that, but do you have to move to L.A. for that? You can do anything from anywhere right now, in today's world. So I wondered, does L.A. you have to go to L.A. to be involved with that stuff? Listen, Phillip Rivers had 9 kids. I bet he had time to be a dad.
Sure.
And still study the playbook, you know? We do live in a world, though, where players, because of their brands, are into a lot of different things. That is different than, say, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Deion might have been. Bo Jackson might have been, but not so many athletes, right?
I think a lot of guys were, you just never heard about it because there wasn't social media.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're right. Actually, you go think Magic, Bird, Jordan, right? I mean, they're doing some stuff on the side, maybe to not this degree. Again, LeBron feels like he's doing a ton of stuff, but the guy just came off winning a championship.
For sure.
How can you complain? Now, was it because he was in the bubble and he couldn't do anything else? I don't know.
No,
right?
I mean, yeah. If you use it as an excuse.
Or is he just at the time in his career where he could handle it?
It's like we talked about yesterday. I just think some people are gifted enough to have multiple things on their plate at once. Where we see this with boxing and combat sports where, like I always use Ronda Rousey as a classic example. Ronda Rousey, she was the biggest name in the UFC. She starts to do movies and everything like that. Her training, starts to go to the wayside a little bit, and then she starts losing. And that's just, it's about how you balance all your energy.
Yeah.
Now, I think LeBron James is like the 1% of the 1% of the outliers outliers where it's like he can go to LA. He can do Space Jam. He can do all this stuff and still win a championship. Michael Jordan was the same way. Michael Jordan played baseball for a little bit, decided to come back, play basketball again. Oh, by the way, came back and absolutely dominated once again, doing Space Jam, doing all these extra stuff, his shoe company, all that stuff, but still found the way to win championships. Not everybody is wired like that. Is Trevor Lawrence, is he wired like that? I have no idea. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But what he's decided is, you know what? I don't have to be wired like that right now. I don't have to do all these extra things, or, I don't have to go out of my way to give up these energies. All I can say is who I am, and I'll play football, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it is interesting. As we continue to talk about it, it's fascinating because, you go Joe Namath, right? There was extra stuff, right? It feels like there's more now than ever before because brand seems way more important, but really that's wrong. It's as old as the day is long. There's tons of evidence of players doing this. There might be more than ever because there's more opportunity, but there's tons of evidence. Some people went to the beach bars.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Other people. What's up, Blake? Other people spent time at Blake. I was talking about you.
Yeah, I know, but Blake too. No, hey, I'm throwing Blake Bortles in that conversation too. I'm not going to go out by myself. I'm taking you with me.
Yeah.
What's up, Blake?
So it's almost like it would be okay if Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or any of these guys said, hey, I'm going to go do 12 endorsements in a movie. But if you say, hey, I don't have a chip on my shoulder, football is not life. It doesn't define me. If you say that, that's wrong. But if you say, I'm going to go do a couple movies, I'm going to make an album, and I'm going to do 17 endorsements, like, hey, good for you, man. That's great. You don't think that takes up time?
Or if it's going to have a lot of kids, you got a big family. What are we supposed to tell NFL athletes? Hey, don't have kids, don't have a family. It takes away from your football stuff.
Oh, I tried to tell Tiger Woods that. He didn't listen.
Yeah, well, couldn't handle it.
He didn't win for a while.
Couldn't handle it. Yeah, it's what it is.
It's like kids go. This whole conversation to me is like going to college. Some people can handle college and some can't. You know why? Because you have to manage your own time, and sometimes there's so much time you don't know what the hell to do with it. Right? Some kids are good at it, some aren't, and some figure it out a little bit down the road.
Absolutely.
And it's like that with players too. Some can be good at it, and some they might have to, work a little bit different way to get to the end.
And that's the thing. You can go in and say, like, I'm going to work hard in college and I'm going to do all these things and have all these quotes. But if you don't actually do it, then what's the point? They're just words. It's just an article, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just one quote.
I thought it was an awesome article. It's a fascinating conversation.
Oh, it's a great article.
I think the Justin Fields conversation is a real one, too. I think that's a decent question by Louis Riddick. More football talk on the way. A bunch of different things. A no-no in baseball. There's been a lot of those over the years. And 2 already in the Major League Baseball season. We're coming back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN690.
Mostly cloudy skies today, some midday and afternoon showers and even a few thunderstorms. Temperatures in the lower to mid-80s. Drying out this evening under mostly cloudy skies down to the upper 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer, on average, got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Ever finally get around to trying something and it's so much better than you expected, where you're mentally kicking yourself for not doing it sooner or wondering where it's been your whole life? That's how Griffin customers feel about their Florida-rated AC. They even tell me,
we're never going back to regular AC.
And it's the same for our Florida-rated water heaters, too. It's so much better, our customers wonder why no one told them about it before. Well, we fix what others can't. Tired of having to run a shower or faucet for 3 minutes before you actually get hot water? We can fix that.
Nice.
Tired of Jacksonville's swampy hard water hurting your appliances and hair? We can fix it.
Naturally.
Tired of a tank water heater going bad every 5 to 8 years or running out of hot water?
Yep.
Griffin can fix that big time.
Oh, yeah. I never knew I could have hot water as soon as I turned on the tap.
And my hair could be so much healthier. And my appliances can last longer.
Well, you can, but only if you call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261-1250-697.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? So that I can go back to church.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
I'm Marcus Roberts, a jazz pianist and a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB prepares students for a lifetime of success, allowing them to do more, be more, and achieve more. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Austin Lane.
And I'm going to regurgitate it to you. I'm like a mother bird right now, and I'm spewing it in your mouth.
Brent Martineau.
We got doves flying and mother birds all week.
I'm trying to baby bird you right now, man.
Yeah, well, this is why I tease stuff and don't get to it.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Remember now, people were questioning Justin Fields. People were questioning Justin Fields, and he hadn't said a word. People were questioning just how committed he was and whether he was going to be one of those guys who's going to put in the time to be great. If Justin Fields had said this kind of thing, what do you think we'd be talking about here this morning? So I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm not questioning Trevor Lawrence. I'm just saying, though.
So that is Louis Riddick.
Yeah.
Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence. Again, I think a valid point to bring up. I don't know. I think there's probably an element of this, as we said at the top, that has to do with the black quarterback.
Sure, yeah.
I don't think that it certainly isn't that for me. It's more the juxtaposition of Fields versus everybody else in the draft. I think I'll take a white quarterback for an example. If he had said what Trevor Lawrence said, it would be highly questioned as well. Johnny Manziel. If Johnny Manziel had this SI article, then Johnny Manziel was getting questioned anyway, but you get my point, right? And by the way, that's probably a bad comp because I'm not saying Justin Fields and Justin Manziel are two of alike. You know, I'm just saying a quarterback that we didn't know where he would fall in the draft. There's not a lock to be number one. Well, I think I would say even to Zach Wilson, if he says this, I think we'd be talking today about the Jets, probably maybe not taking Zach Wilson because of what he said. Because I don't know if he's that much of a lock at number two, though it feels that way. But could that drive some conversation away from, Jets fans, I don't know, should you be concerned? So I don't think it's a black versus white quarterback. I think it's more the position they're in. Trevor Lawrence is an absolute lock. If Andrew Luck had said this coming out, he'd still be the number one pick. If Peyton Manning had said this, would he have lost to Ryan Leaf some ground? Maybe. I don't know.
So let's dive into this. And let's go back to, because to me, the whole narrative about Justin Fields kind of went on a roller coaster of emotions. Started to me with Dan Orlovsky reporting that, apparently there's a source. And did he, I don't want to misquote him here, was it a scout or was it a coach? It was somebody associated with the NFL team saying that they thought that Justin Fields, and I don't want to like speak out of place here, but like I think was it lazy that they used the term, or what was the term exactly?
Yeah, I think there was this connotation of lazy.
Lazy, okay. I have an issue with that. Now, I don't have an issue with Dan Orlovsky coming out and saying what he said because that's what he heard. And you have to report what you hear. I get that. If you trust your sources, then so be it.
Well, he got under fire for even doing that and not vetting him out.
No, for sure. But here's my issue with the whole situation. Let's go back to 2012. Guy by the name of Justin Blackmon, okay? The best wide receiver of the draft class, bar none, top 10 pick for sure. But what did we hear after he got drafted? Well, some teams said that he's kind of partying all the time and stuff, and is he really going to work out in the NFL? How come nobody broke that story? How come nobody's told us that Justin Blackmon might be – now, the scouts knew it. The Atlanta Falcons, NFL teams knew it. The Jaguars obviously didn't know it, or they did. They took a gamble. But I didn't hear one, national media member or one draft expert say, be careful with Justin Blackmon now. There's a couple red flags out there. How did the entire NFL know about this, but nobody else did? Right? So this leads me to the point where if Justin Fields truly, doesn't take the game seriously, he's not a hard worker, that's all a fabrication because somebody wants you to know that. Someone's thrown up a smoke screen because they want you to know that. With Laramie Tunsil, I never heard one time say anybody, Laramie Tunsil, one of the highest regarded offensive tackles coming out. Not one time did I hear, well, be careful of this guy because he's got a history of, smoking marijuana and stuff like this. And all of a sudden on draft night, the guy's doing a bong rip in a picture.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? I didn't hear one reporter.
Somebody trying to sabotage
it.
Or literally smoke screen.
No, for sure. But I didn't hear one person in the media before that say, Laramie Tunsil, there's a couple red flags with him. So this is my point. Like, we have red flags over Justin Fields. Why? Because some scouts said that. To me, that's all a smoke screen. To me, if a guy comes out and says, you know what, he's not a hard worker, there's red flags around him, that's someone trying to throw a smoke screen and say, hopefully he falls to us. That's all I think about that.
Yeah, and I think that happens, and some of that's a dangerous business, and unfortunately, these guys are pawns in that game, But I think it's a wild question. Again, I'll go back to say it. I think we knew this was coming out of this article. I think he knew probably it was coming. I love the fact that he was just genuine. It wasn't PC. He wasn't saying what everybody wanted to hear him say. And that's fine. That's probably why he's reluctant to do a lot of interviews. I mean, he's been very quiet in this draft cycle, knowing that he's going to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
So very handpicked at what stories he has done. And I have no problem with the Trevor Lawrence story, comments, whatever. In fact, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was refreshing. Like, I think it's really cool. And it gives you a sense of who he is. All those things. And I think if Justin Fields was the number one overall pick and he was coming to Jacksonville for the last 4 months and he said the same thing, I would feel that way too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel any different. Now, if we didn't know who was going to be the number one pick, if there was no lock and it's a murky situation, it's like, the Jags going to take Zach Wilson, they're going to take Trevor, they're going to take Fields, they're going to take Mac Jones, and one of these guys then say that, then I might be like, well, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? But I don't even know if it would really red flag me. I really don't.
Yeah.
I just think that's someone being genuine. Moik, you said earlier in the show, more people are like that in NFL locker rooms. Few people have the guts to say it.
Sure.
And especially as you get older. I think what it does is it shows you the sign of maturity that Trevor Lawrence has, the understanding of who he is. That's what it is. Because you know who would say this? A 28-year-old quarterback, a 32-year-old quarterback. Not too many 21, 22-year-old quarterbacks would say it. See, to me, it's a sign of maturity. I don't care what you think. I know who I am. You know, I know who I am since I'm 7th, 8th grade, right? And I've learned about me, and I know it works. Who I am works. Look at my resume. Look what I've done. And I love the game. And I want to be the best to do it. Boom. End of story. Stop the conversation.
And you know, with Louis Riddick, too, and listen, Louis Riddick's an intelligent individual, right? I mean, this guy is, you know, interviewing for GM jobs. And is there a bias of the black quarterback in the NFL? You know, I think you could make up examples and say, yes, there is. But I don't see this being one of those examples. What I look at it is, if you want to compare Fields to Trevor Lawrence, to Trey Lance and Zach Wilson and Mac Jones right now, if you compare them to those guys, no quarterback more than Justin Fields has had a bigger floor in terms of his performance this year than Justin Fields. Simple as that. Yeah. If you watch the Indiana game and you watch the Northwestern game, like, we left those games thinking, ugh. Yeah, you're like, we're a little turned off by those things. Mac Jones didn't really have any of those games.
He had no floor like that.
Trevor Lawrence didn't have a floor like that. Zach Wilson didn't have a floor like that. Even, you know, probably his worst game of the year against Coastal Carolina, it was still a lot better than Justin Fields' worst. So that's my point right there. And if you want to throw a color on it, then so be it. But I honestly think that we don't have a good beat on where Justin Fields is going to go, just because look at his season this year. It's been up and down. Now, there's been a lot of up, but the down has been so far down. I get where NFL evaluators are coming from.
Listen, here's the other thing about Justin Fields. Fields has become a very interesting person in this draft, not just for this conversation, not just for the Dan Orlovsky comments and then what came out of that. He's interesting because of what you said, just the analysis on tape. Listen, I thought the Jags were getting Justin Fields. I was all in on Justin Fields.
I think a lot of people did.
Well, you know, I mean, we had these discussions. You weren't as much all in as I was during that time.
I was until
those games. Indiana game, Northwestern game, you tried to talk me out of it, and I was like, don't worry, man. He's still the guy. Yeah. And then I shifted focus because obviously the Jags got the number 1 pick. But what's fascinating in my own mind is, hey, Brent, how would you feel right now if the Jags were picking number 2? Would you be aligned with everybody that's pushed Zach Wilson to the top? Or would you still be on Justin Fields the way you were? And I have not wavered on this front. I think Justin Fields is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. I also think it's going to be a hell of a quarterback class. I really do. I think it's going to be really good. And I could go as far as saying I still think Kyle Trask has a good chance to be a good quarterback in this game, in this league. Yeah. I don't know much about the Stanford kid, but he's climbing boards, so maybe he's another
Mond one. As well. Kellen Mond is up there.
Yeah, and I have less faith in him. I just didn't see enough of the growth in college for Kellen Mond, so I'm not sure I would put him in that category. But the kid out of Stanford, the Trask, even as deep as that, I think they have chance for a lot of success. Like I have said before, I believe this class could rival 83 when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL. I think they're all pretty damn good. I don't know which one will be the best. I mean, circumstances will probably indicate a lot of that based on what team they're at, coaching, all that other stuff, but health. So I'm still a big fan of Justin Fields. And I'm not convinced Zach Wilson's better than him. I'm a little concerned for the Jets that they're that locked in on Wilson. Now, he seems to fit Broadway and the whole thing. I could see him on the Times Square billboards. Yeah. You know? Yeah. He's got the boy band look. You know? I mean, it could be really a gold mine. I like the risk factor there, too. I think he's super boom potential. But just to make it clear, I think none of the things that have been said, none of the jockeying around for Fields has me off Fields. I still think he's good. I know he had those poor games. I think he's a really good player. I think he's only going to get better. The thing I would really have to question myself now is, would you be going to the wall for him at number 2 if the Jags pick number 2? And I was going to the wall for him.
It would be an interesting conversation.
In October, November. And I just haven't sat back and asked that question much because we don't have to. Yeah. But, I mean, I seriously was all in just 6 months ago on Justin Fields, 4 months ago, and now I just haven't had to be. I think someone has a chance to really get a steal with Fields, and I'm still not convinced San Francisco didn't move up to go get him. Yeah. You know? Yeah, so we're not convinced of that. Trey Lance fits in that category. I just have less of a feeling about Lance. You have a better feeling about Lance because of your connections out there in North Dakota State. So, one other thing about I don't think the black quarterback, white quarterback thing exists in the NFL. I feel like we're trying to still make it a thing. Am I wrong on that? Should I still be should I be more aware of it still being a thing? I mean, look at all the great quarterbacks in the NFL that are black players. Like that's not a thing. Like it seriously was a thing 15 years ago, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Russell Wilson's an MVP candidate every year. Cam Newton led his team to a Super Bowl. I mean, all the way back to Michael Vick, who obviously played the position in an electric way that few have ever done.
But let's go back. Okay, so let's go back to Lamar Jackson, though. Okay,
Lamar Jackson,
MVP winner himself, comes out of college, Heisman Trophy winner, mind you.
Yeah.
And what was the narrative with him?
I was not a big fan of Jackson coming out.
But what was the narrative? Hey, let's put him at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Let's put him someplace else.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think some of the narrative was when he didn't want to work out with that stuff, they're like, oh, well, he doesn't even care about it. Right? Like, see, to me, that could fit the narrative a little bit.
I think it could fit the narrative, but I think we try to shape it to the narrative sometimes and say, isn't that almost like an ultimate compliment at how athletic the guy is? That they might see it. People might see him fit in all these other places, and it might fit better.
But Brent,
they said it about Tebow, man. They said he should switch to tight end.
But they were making Tebow try to do tight end drills at the combine because you had the feeling that Tim Tebow was playing quarterback in the NFL.
Well, because he said that's all I'm going to do.
Okay, but nobody questioned that. When Lamar Jackson came out, it was like, oh, he do run the 40-yard like that, and they're kind of the same quarterback, Brent.
Yeah,
they're dual threat.
Yeah, I'm not telling you that doesn't exist with Lamar Jackson.
Better now.
I'm not telling you it didn't exist with Lamar Jackson, but I also thought. The last thing I saw up close in person with Lamar Jackson that probably skewed my mind a little bit, and I wasn't advocating for him to go play wide receiver. I just didn't think – I don't know what he was going to be as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I wasn't advocating for the Jags to get him at 28.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him play in the Taxslayer Gator Bowl, and it was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was bad. It just – he didn't have a good game there.
Sure.
And so that's what my recollection was, and the fit. And let's be honest now. If he goes to Jacksonville, if he goes to – I don't know, maybe it's Indianapolis. If he goes somewhere, Denver, he might not be a good quarterback. Yeah. It's what Harbaugh and the Ravens committed to him and then changed their offense around. They didn't try to get somebody to fit into something that didn't fit. Which we need to see more of in the NFL.
Of course.
And they've put him in a position to be successful and utilize his skill set so well.
And Cam Newton was the same thing. Like they had to change the offense around for Cam Newton.
Absolutely.
And guess what? He went to a Super Bowl. No, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but he still went to the Super Bowl nonetheless.
And that's something actually, if you take black and white out of it, people were kind of unwilling to do for Tebow at the time, right? They were a little bit unwilling to say, hey, let's change this offense. Now, what they eventually did in Denver, because they had to play him, was kind of run some of that stuff. And that's where they found success, right?
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is that Tebow and Jackson were both first-round picks. I don't remember them, egging on Tebow to try to run the wide receiver drills because when he said he wasn't going to, okay, fine, he's a quarterback. Fine. And guess what? He still went first round. There was a lot of speculation, Lamar Jackson's going to drop now because he doesn't want to play wide receiver and stuff like that.
But so as it sits today, though, do you think that comes into play with GMs and coaches and everything, the black quarterback? I mean, Lamar Jackson's an MVP.
No,
Cam Newton was an MVP. Russell Wilson could win MVP almost every year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback in the game. I mean, I feel like we've gone by that, but maybe some folks haven't, and not just I have, but people have.
I don't know for sure. I'll say this. I hope from a talent evaluation standpoint, from a GM or a scout, if you're really that stupid and really that naive to say, hey, I'm not going to look twice at this guy because he's a black quarterback, then you don't deserve to even have a job.
I was going to say, then you're not good at your job, probably, right?
I don't think it's, like I said, I hope it's not like that. I'm sure it's not like that, but it is what it is.
By the way, I readily admit that it had been like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stretch was and when that stopped. Mm-hmm. But if you're thinking that way now, then you're an idiot and a moron. You probably won't have a job very often, very long in the NFL. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Deshaun Watson saga continues as one of the women suing dropped her suit while another has filed. That keeps the total at 22. And Deshaun Watson isn't the only NFL superstar with legal trouble. Rams defensive tackle phenom Aaron Donald is in some possible hot water after an altercation at a Pittsburgh after-hours establishment. The alleged victim, DeVincent Spriggs, needed 16 stitches and suffered a broken orbital bone, a broken nose, a concussion, and a sprained or broken arm, according to his attorney, Todd J. Hollis. And in MLB, Chicago White Sox lefty Carlos Rodon almost threw a perfect game last night, but still ended up throwing a no-hitter, the first of his career, and an 8-0 win over the Cleveland Indians last night. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
J.J. Watt, interesting choice. Imagine the conversation we're having today if he signed in Green Bay. Instead, he goes to Arizona, signs to play in the best division in football. Are they the fourth best team in that division? Could be. He went to the place that had the salary cap space to afford him. And again, that's not a criticism. It's just a simple statement of fact.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I would like to hug my grandchildren.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Where else can you get lunch and brunch and booze and specials? Only one place, at Cohane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. CohanesIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Cohane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Come celebrate Tire Outlet's Yulee grand opening April 22nd through the 24th. Enter to win a 4x4 ATV or a tire and wheel package. Stop by our Yulee location during our grand opening event to fill out an entry. Tire Outlet. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Stick to your 2021 New Year's resolutions. Commit to fitness with Body Armor Sports Drink. Buy $20 worth of Body Armor products and get $10 in fitness cash to one of your favorite brands by uploading your receipt on BACommitToFit.com. Body Armor available at your local Winn-Dixie.
The Wendy's restaurant in your area has issued a major bag alert.
Major bag alert. The bacon double stack is back in the biggie bag with fries, nugs, and a drink, all for just $5. The following are to be expected: joy, disbelief, inability to think about anything else. This deal is effective immediately, and it's only at Wendy's. Major bag alert. Bag alert. Major
Biggie bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and small drink. U.S. price and participation may vary.
All right. So I wanted to do this segment. I thought this was a good idea today.
Okay.
So today, Tyler and Kaylee turned 16.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a big age.
That's a big age.
It's a big age, Brent.
What was 16 big for you?
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's driver's license. Well, I was like 16 and a half. I got my driver's license.
Yeah, because you're going to get your permit. Like I said that too about Rhode Island. Like I 16, I think, was when we could go get our permit. We had our permit for 3 months. And then I think you could get, maybe it was 6 months, but I think it was 3 months.
Yep.
Then you could get into the license stuff.
Yep. And then
I think that's how it works. Down here, man, you get your freaking permit at 15 years old. I mean, you're still.
That's how it is in Wisconsin, too.
At 15?
Yeah, it's 15.
I think it's crazy.
Well, the permit where you can drive with one parent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're one
So
adult.
Kaylee's been driving for a year.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yep.
Like she didn't go get her permit till a month after. So middle of May. Ty, we made go get his permit. He still hasn't got behind the wheel.
Doesn't care though, huh? That's so wild to me. So
I know,
wild
because
to
there
me.
are some that just chomping at the bit, right?
You're talking to a guy right here who couldn't wait to get out of Iola and just, hey, let's go to let's go 8 miles down the road. Let's go to Taco Bell, man. My treat. Like that's what it was back in Central Wisconsin.
All right, so here's where I want to go with this, okay?
Okay.
We can do this throughout the show, but we're going to launch it
What kind of cars did you get them? Is that where we're going with it?
No.
Okay.
But what's the favorite car you've had?
Oh, wow.
Because now, I mean, you're 30-something years old. You know, it's interesting enough, I had a ton of cars when I was a kid.
Really?
I had a Subaru as my first one. I bought off my parents for like $500, okay?
Yeah.
But then my grandfather was in like a used car. He was I don't know if he was a salesman for it or running the shop. I kind of forget.
Yeah.
But he was in a used car dealership. And so every few months I would end up with like a new car. Like not a brand new car, but like a used car.
Wait, yeah, be honest. Would he buy them and then like take the mileage back down? Because
I don't
there's
know.
a way
Like,
that
there's
that was
probably
a thing
something
back then.
fishy going on.
I'm
not
kidding. That's what he was doing.
But I have no idea.
I feel like everybody.
I don't know what was going on, but it probably wasn't good.
Everybody had a grandpa that would buy used cars and somehow rig it up where they can take the speedometer and move it back, or like the mileage and move it back, and then sell it for more.
Yes.
Everybody knew someone that did that back in the day. That was like a random thing. That was like buying Bitcoin now. Everybody was doing it back then.
So what? How many cars did you have?
So
I had a Peugeot. Have you ever heard of a Peugeot?
I've never heard of it.
For a couple of
Isn't
months,
that a
I took
Pokemon?
go look it up.
That's a Pokemon where I come from.
Sounds like
one of the cars was this Peugeot.
How do you spell that?
Peugot. I had it for
Definitely
like
not
a month and a
American.
half, and I drove it to school. I can't
definitely
believe
not
I drove
American
it to
car.
school. No, it's like a French car, I think.
Hold up. I can't even find this thing. Hold up.
I think I spelled it right.
This is what's coming up.
You did spell it right.
You ain't driving one of these. Tell you that right now. Maybe you
No,
are.
that's
With
like
that
a new
this is
looking one. You're going to go back to like a
Can I get a year?
1990 or 1985
okay.
or something.
1985. All right. Peugeot. I've never heard of You know what's fantastic, though? The new ones are
sweet.
They look like Lamborghinis or like
I didn't know they
Porsche,
still made
or
them.
like Porsches. The old ones, not so much. The old ones look like just a
Let me
box
see it.
on
Let me see it.
wheels. Any of these ringing a
Oh,
bell?
yeah, that was it. Yeah. It's like, it would be embarrassing to go to school with it, and I just didn't care, I guess.
Yeah.
It was 4 wheels.
This was like the very first form,
But
and
I
now they're
think-
on their final form,
I think
which
Peugeot,
is a lot
like,
better.
is, I think it was an expensive car back in the day, actually. Like, I think that's the way it was framed to me.
Doesn't look like
but it didn't look like a cool car in high school in like
with all due
1998.
with all due
or
respect to you,
99.5.
yeah.
I get college and high school mixed up.
So if you're asking me what my favorite car was, and you know, like I told the story, I had the Escalade EXT truck that I bought when I first signed my contract.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I gave
That's
a
like
speech
a new
about that
rich
in
guy
high school.
car, though. You know what I mean?
It was, man. But if we're being for real, 1979, my first car, Lincoln Continental. My grandpa was a giant mechanic, so we bought one. Obviously, it was used. He fixed it up, and I get my license, and probably a month later, when I get my license, pass my test, I take it out, and the brakes go out the very first day. The very first day I got my Lincoln.
That's like the ultimate thing you're afraid
Brakes
of.
go out. Yep. So I'm doing donuts. I think I told the story before, but I was doing donuts in the parking lot because I know what to do, man.
At least you're in the parking lot.
I'm 16 years old. Well, yeah. And then I had a friend in the car with me. He jumped out of the car because he was scared. It was insane.
All right, don't answer the question yet. We got 2 more hours to go, but I want your favorite car that you've had. By the way, Jags fans, you can win a chance to meet the pick courtesy of TIAA Bank. Just visit TIAABank.com/meet the pick to register each day through draft night. No purchase required to enter or win. For eligibility and other details, see the official rules at TIAABank.com/meet the pick. Historic night in Jacksonville coming up tonight. We talk about it next on ESPN 690.
Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day. CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it. Because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Vacations are coming back, so before you hit the road, get your vehicle checked out by the pros at Honda of the Avenues. Honda of the Avenues Service Department continues to get 5 stars for their certified technicians using certified parts. The new Express Service Center is now open, so stop by if you need an oil change, tires, battery, wiper blades, or if you need any repairs to your vehicle. Awarded the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award. Honda of the Avenues, easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Waiting for spring is one thing. Waiting for spring savings is another. At the Home Depot, you don't have to wait for either one. Our best prices of the season are here now. In-store, online, store-wide. Get a 40-volt battery-powered Ryobi string trimmer for just $159. And more savings on everything, from fresh paint to power blowers. You've waited long enough. Bring on spring. The Spring Savings Event, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid through April 18th while supplies last.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Major League Baseball today celebrating Jackie Robinson Day on this 74th anniversary of his MLB debut and breaking of the sport's color barrier. Robinson's importance cannot be overstated, says Chuck D, a Public Enemy.
Most significant athlete in sports history, period, who basically baseball wasn't his number one sport. I mean, he was a tail kicker, man, in football at UCLA and also in basketball. You want to talk about GOAT? He chose to take on baseball.
Chuck D on Barton Hahn. Red Sox on a 9-game winning streak have tied things up at 3 with the Twins. They're in the top of the 8th thanks to an Alex Verdugo 3-run double. Mets forward Lamarcus Aldridge announced his retirement from the NBA, citing an irregular heartbeat. The 35-year-old, the second overall pick in the 2006 draft, was diagnosed with a heart condition his rookie year. NCAA placed the USC men's basketball program on 2 years probation for a former associate coach's role in the national bribery scandal. The Trojans do avoid a postseason ban.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
We have a little history in the making tonight here in Jacksonville. Over the next couple weeks, we're 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, of course. Everybody knows that. And Mac Jones has a chance to probably tie Gerard Warren. We don't think Mac's going number 2, but he could go number 3 as the highest draft pick in the NFL draft from Jacksonville. Gerard Warren is a Lake City guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Where'd he go again? I'm sorry.
Went to Florida to play college ball, but then to Cleveland as a 3rd overall pick.
Gotcha.
And then Rania Davis looks to be potentially a top 5 pick. Ribault High School star basketball player, plays at Tennessee a few years back and has had a stellar career. Did this last night on TV. Think about this, how good Tennessee Volunteer basketball has been on the women's side, right? Everybody knows how good it's been. She is top 10 in school history in 8 different categories. That's how good of a career.
It's pretty good company she's in right there.
Candace Parka. Hey! The Rhode Island accent just came out.
Candace Parka.
That was awesome. That was not on purpose.
The best part was, I have to go back and watch the video. I go like this because I thought you were going to correct it. I'm like, are we just going to roll with Candace Parka today?
I couldn't hide that.
I just couldn't hide that. Are you really going to roll with that today? We're going to correct that one. I mean, it's one thing to be like, so it's one thing to be like Trevon Merrick or Morig, but this one's a little different, Brent, with Parka.
But we've heard of Candace Parker.
Yes, there it is, and we're back. And we're back.
So you talk and more great. Let's just get to Gene Fournette right now from the Florida Times. Hey, Fournette can appreciate what I just said. He's a Vermont guy. Red Sox are winning again, maybe 10 in a row. What's happening, Gene?
I don't know. They better break those guys up, though. I mean, they lost 3 in a row to start the season. It looked like they were going to be dogs, and now it looks like their entire pitching staff's on steroids.
I know. It is wild what's going on there. Hey, Gene, hope you're doing well, man. Obviously, I'm trying to eloquently say how big of a couple of weeks this could be in Jacksonville. You've been here for a long time. And Rania Davis going tonight in potentially the top 5 of the WNBA draft. I think this should be a celebration, a huge story. What a career she's had. What a phenomenal basketball player. And now when she gets drafted tonight, she'll make some history as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing when you think about it because, Jacksonville, to be perfectly honest, is not a hotbed basketball area. This is not a place where college recruiters flock to in great numbers to watch. At least not on the big time level. You don't see a whole lot of Jacksonville guys or women going to big time Power 5 schools. So when you see somebody like a Rania Davis going to a blue blood program like Tennessee, which certainly is one of the top 2 basketball programs in women's college basketball history, that makes you sit up and take notice. And listen, she was a 4-year starter at Ribault, second career leading scorer there behind Dorian Williams, who's now the head coach there at Ribault. She goes to Tennessee. She's a 4-year starter there as well. She finishes as the 9th leading scorer there in UT history, like 1,815 points. And she's the one of only 4 Tennessee women to be like top 10 in career points, career rebounds, and points and rebounds per game. And the other 3 are, Chemika Holzclaw, Tamika Catchings, and Candace Parker. And, those 3 are right away on the Mount Rushmore of Tennessee women's basketball.
That is amazing. Wow. Gene, I want to say, do you remember, I don't know if you covered this downtown when Ribault won the state championship a few years ago, and they had like a little parade downtown. I think that was Renaya Davis's team that won that state championship. And so she would have been there and then off to Tennessee, obviously. And I think what happens is we celebrate some of these high school kids, and then for a little bit, you're like, hey, that's cool. She's doing great, or they're doing great. He's doing great. But Renaya Davis, the last couple of years, seems like she's hit some big shots. And then all of a sudden I look something, wow, there she is. She's scoring 28, Yeah. I mean, she really has developed even as good as she was in high school. I don't know if people would have predicted this like a top 5, potential top 10 WNBA draft pick some 4 years later, even as good as she was.
Yeah, I mean, that's really hard to do. Listen, we all know that the hardest league to make it in professionally is the NBA and the WNBA. I mean, those leagues are harder to make than any other ones because there's so few roster spots. I mean, you're talking about the WNBA, there's only 12 teams. There's only like 135 players in the entire league. So that's why so many female players go overseas, not just because there's not as many jobs in the WNBA, but also the pay, unfortunately, is actually greater overseas than it is in the WNBA. The WNBA's got a long way to go before they start, getting salaries for these women. I mean, they're never going to be what the NBA is, obviously. But, I mean, Renaya Davis in her first year, if she gets picked in the top 4 tonight, a lot of people expect her to either go to the Indiana Fever at number 4 or the Atlanta Dream at number 3. Well, you know what? Take a guess what her salary is going to be next year if she is picked in the top 4. Would you care to guess?
I mean, I would hope over 200,000.
No way.
No?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
you would hope wrong.
Top 5, Brent?
Austin, you would hope wrong because it's 3 times less than that. $70,000.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Wow.
That's what the top 4 picks in the WNBA will make this year. The highest paid player in the WNBA only makes like $250,000.
Wow.
That's it.
That is crazy if you think about that and you juxtapose that, obviously, to what folks in the NBA are making. And that's obviously been a topic outside of in a variety of sports, including U.S. women's soccer as well. But Austin, obviously, it's big. I think this is a huge – these are moments – this is what local sports is all about. Like these kind of moments what local sports all about.
This is kind of what I want to bring up with you, Gene, because, Gene, obviously you've covered this for a long time now, and it's going to be a great honor for – Renaya Davis when she goes top 5 for sure in the WNBA draft. But like I think of Jacksonville, and coming from someone who grew up in Wisconsin, like Jacksonville to me was never on the hot map in terms of football, basketball, or baseball. But when you talk about great athletes, I mean Davis tonight, you got Ryan Murphy, Grayson Allen, and obviously a very rich and prestigious baseball lineup as well here. Do you think that Jacksonville doesn't really get its just due in terms of athletes that come out of this city, and maybe they should be on the spotlight a little more?
Well, I think it depends what sport you're talking about. Baseball, I think, is very undervalued here. We've got routinely year in and year out, Jacksonville has anywhere from 8 to a dozen players in Major League Baseball. There's probably more. There's probably even more than that in the NFL because of the availability of jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Other sports, it's tougher. There's not that many spots available. I mean, basketball, as I already said, it's really difficult to make. You can be a great basketball player, and you may never set foot in the NBA. I mean, you look at Dallas Moore, one of the greatest player in UNF history, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he's lit it up in like 4 different countries that he's played in. He's lighting it up in the Chinese Basketball Association right now. So, it just really depends. But clearly, football and baseball are 2 of Jacksonville's best sports in terms of producing players at the professional level. Basketball, not so much. But, hopefully, once you start to see great players make it and they come out of a certain area, sometimes that could ignite somebody else to do the same thing.
See, Brent, I think we have to have Ryan Murphy back on the show again just so we can hype up swimming a little more, man.
Well, I think we'll try to do that, by the way, leading into the Tokyo Olympics. I mean, that's a big swing going on right now. We've had Ryan on the show before, and that is also a very undertold story of Jacksonville, the swimming scene, and what we have produced out. Listen, I love that. I say it all the time. We'll have Gene on. We talk about this or whether we're just talking about it. I mean, for a guy from Rhode Island, and you just don't get this stuff. You know, you don't produce. Rocco Baldelli came from there, you know, and he was a top 5 pick, and that was, oh my gosh, like it was unbelievable. You don't get NFL guys. You don't usually get NBA guys. You get some NHL guys, but.
Would you care to take a guess at who the greatest, well, I don't want to say greatest, most accomplished athlete to ever come out of Vermont? And my state is, I think it might be a tiny bit smaller than Rhode Island in terms of population. Area, obviously, it's bigger. Keegan Bradley, the golfer, he's probably the most accomplished athlete to ever come out of the state where I grew up.
Wow.
So that just goes to show you, you know, what a dearth of talent in Vermont. I mean, few hockey players here and there.
Yeah. How about skiers?
John LeClaire for the Flyers. He was probably the best.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
That came out of there. But, you know, it's few and far between. But, yeah, Jacksonville's certainly had its share of really good athletes, and obviously Bob Hayes would have to top that list. But, it's getting better. And you mentioned the swimming, and certainly Bowles' program has produced, you know, a bevy of Olympic medalists, and of course, Episcopal as well. So, it runs the gamut. But, I don't know that we've seen a stretch where we'll ever see possibly top 5 picks in 2 different sports, certainly 2 weeks apart, as we might see with Renaya tonight and Mac Jones in a couple weeks.
All right, Gene Fredette with us from the Florida Times Union. So let's go there. Chipper Jones, obviously, number 1. He's not a Jacksonville native, but goes to bowl school in Major League Baseball. So where does it fall next for Mac Jones? Does he become the highest? Well, he could tie Gerard Warren, who's a Lake City guy, obviously in the area, in the Jacksonville area, in Northeast Florida.
I believe Gerard Warren was Union County.
Was he Lake Butler? Lake Butler?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess he was born in Lake City. I think that's but Lake Butler, Union County guy. And anybody else after that before Tebow? Who am I missing in there?
Are you talking about a first-round draft pick in any sport or top 10?
NFL.
Oof. I think Kenny Burrow, the wide receiver for the Oilers, most of his career with the Oilers. I think he was drafted number 10 by the New Orleans Saints, I want to say. That's one that jumps out at me at the top of my head.
Spiller, Spiller. C.J. Spiller.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
C.J. Spiller was number 9.
He was number 9.
Yes.
So Lake Butler has 2. The Lake Butler has the 2 top picks from Jacksonville. How about that?
Well, I guess if you include Lake Butler as the Jacksonville area, that is true.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody in Lake Butler, but I mean, it seriously is on the outskirts. I mean, if you're talking greater Jacksonville, I mean, Max is close to the downtown at being potentially number 3 or even in the top 10. He would probably.
Yeah, I think all of us in the media struggle a little bit as to what constitutes the Jacksonville area. I usually think of it as, you know, Clay County, St. John's, Duval, Nassau. Those are the primary ones that I think of when I think of Jacksonville area. But, you know, some people would extend it a little bit beyond that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, let's wrap up here, Gene. I appreciate you taking some time. I think it's a big night for Renaya Davis. I know you did an article this morning in the Florida Times Union, and obviously a big week for Mac Jones coming up, a big couple of weeks. We'll see where he lands. I'm still not convinced he's going to San Francisco, though many people are, and hopefully for his sake it's a good landing spot if that's where he goes. But he is going to be drafted in the first round, probably the top 10, no doubt about it, even if it's not with the 49ers. Let's get your quick thought on the Jags. All over the place at number 25. They've got picks 33 and 45. We know what they're doing at number 1. Any feel for what they might do or where you would direct them to go with that pick number 25?
Well, the first thing you have to ask yourself is who's coming off the board in the first 24 picks if they don't trade up. You know, I did the fantasy column last week of trading up for Kyle Pitts, which I think would certainly be an eye catcher and certainly be something that would really get the fan base excited. But I think my guess is that Trent Baalke will think the draft capital would be too pricey because, look, the Atlanta Falcons, if they wish to trade down to get more picks, they're not going to get any more picks than they would get than if Jacksonville wanted to trade up because they'd have to come up 21 spots, right? If somebody comes up from number 8 or number 10 to get into the 4th slot, you're not going to get as much draft capital as if you come from number 25. But that, again, the Jaguars have to be willing to do that. But if they stay at 25, obviously the two names that have been associated the most are Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle from Alabama, and the TCU safety Merrick. Those are the two names you see more than anybody else. If I'm the Jaguars, I just go best available player. Don't worry about your need right now because you have needs all over the board. And if you don't have a particular strong need because you've got a decent starter there, go ahead and pick if a guy's got much better value and, eventually that guy's going to be a starter. If not right away, eventually, because, there are injuries that happen all over the NFL. I would much rather draft a player who's, let's say, a linebacker, and you've got him rated as an 8.9 on your board, right, out of 10, than to draft for need and take somebody who's like an 8.1. I would always take the greater talent and don't worry about need because the Jaguars have enough needs in defensive line, safety, tight end. I still think they need to take an offensive lineman in the first 2 days just to provide depth there because a lot of those offensive linemen that are there now will probably not be there next year. Mm-hmm. So you always have to be forward thinking. You can't just be thinking about 2021 because to me the Jaguars' window of opportunity is going to be 2022 and the next 3 or 4 years beyond that.
Yeah, well said. A lot of different directions the Jags could go in. It's really part of the mystery and the fun. 25, 33, 45 is going to be pretty cool to watch in the next couple weeks for the Jags. Gene Fournette, we'll see you down there for a lot of the Jags draft coverage and be an historic night tonight for Renaya Davis. Thanks for checking in.
Take care, guys.
You bet. Go Red Sox along the way. Vermont, by the way, had to have, I got to look this up. I don't want to put them on the spot too much, but Olympians galore.
Yeah.
I would think.
I feel like it's like the hotbed for skiing.
Yeah, skiing, bobsledding, skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet. But I didn't realize that Keegan Bradley would be kind of like the everyday athlete, the major sports.
It's
He'd be the top athlete.
Man.
I would not have guessed that. I think there are, what's interesting, neighboring state is New Hampshire, and I think New Hampshire's produced a ton of athletes.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't say a ton, but I think a good amount.
I'm looking it up. But yeah, I mean, they got him and then John LeClaire. And that's
LeClaire's
about
a good name,
it.
too.
Andrea Mead, who American skier.
Yes, I think you're going to fall into that.
Larry Gardner, third baseman for your Boston Red Sox. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he's number 3 overall on this list. So
Larry Gardner
of Annesselberg Falls, the third baseman for the Boston Red Sox, a teammate of the aforementioned Ray Collins, hit his team's only home run in 1912 of the World Series. And his sacrifice fly in the 10th inning of the deciding game 8. How many games are we playing? Game 2 was called for darkness with a tie score. What are we doing here? Major League Baseball? Oh, those are different times back then. Game 8 called for darkness? What are we doing?
I'm disappointed in myself because
you didn't know who Larry Gardner was?
No, not that. I forgot to ask Gene what his favorite car was all these years.
Oh, yeah.
Probably had a lot of cars.
Yeah, for sure.
Billy Kidd, by the way, most famous skier, Fournette says. Just texted me.
Billy Kidd. All right. Well, yep. A fun fact with him, he won the silver medal in the slalom at the 1964 Winter Olympics in Innsbruck, Austria, of course.
You go. Yeah. Of course. Hey, Steve.
Obviously.
We just learned something today.
Very cool.
Producer Steve.
Very jealous.
Who's in for
Coos. Yeah.
Has a way better name than Coos.
Yes.
Coos is kind of a fun name. Like we've nicked it, Justin Cousar, but we've nicknamed him Coos.
After Bob Cousy.
Yeah. Steve.
Yes.
His last name is Austin.
Yes. Austin.
I-N.
The correct way.
Steve
well, I don't say the
Austin.
correct way, but the Stone Cold Steve Austin way.
I spell your name wrong the entire time.
Oh,
I've
did you
known
really?
Austin.
I didn't even notice, man. It's all good. I'm used to it.
Well, he's only knocked 3 people out that have done that in this building.
Yeah,
so just you're next.
Hey, I've hurt people for less. But with that being said,
didn't talk to the fine, nice cleaning folks here for months. In fact, he hung a sign on the door.
So, Steven, how old are you, man? You're a little on the younger side, right?
I'm 25.
So you didn't really grow up with the professional wrestling attitude era of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That you're a little after that, right?
When I got into wrestling, I made it my life's goal to figure out everything about Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I went back and watched the archive.
Hey, he checked the tape.
He did check the tape.
He did the homework. Have you ever thought, and like I know you're big on TikTok, you got Twitter, all the social media. Did you ever think Stone Cold Steve Austin? Or Stone Cold Steven Austin, or not, or Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, like for my name?
Yeah, for your name, for your handle.
No. No. When I made my handle, it was specifically supposed to be off of like a Tenacious D song.
Which one?
Explosivo.
Okay, yeah.
So everywhere on social media or anything, I'm Explosivo Steve.
Now, Brent, they're a band.
Okay, thank you.
Featuring Jack Black. Yes.
Thank you. Heard of Jack Black.
Yeah.
He's looking it up right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really. No, I'm just taking your word for it.
We don't do that much homework around here now.
What I did want to ask you, though, is we found out the car for this Austin. Now I'm checking it out for Steve Austin.
Stone Cold.
Like I said, Ty and Kaylee's 16th birthday. They are not getting a car.
Yeah, can I ask you why real quick, though? Isn't that kind of like what parents do? Or no? I guess
like,
not. I don't.
You're not totally wrong. Like, I guess
just
it never was a thing.
Okay.
When I was growing up, and I know times have changed, and it is kind of what parents do, like a lot of. Like, I'm surprised at how many kids, like, get cars.
Yeah. Or kids work, like, jobs in the summer to earn up for a car.
Well, that's different.
Sure.
I'm talking about how many people get cars.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
That's different.
Yeah,
Working
I got
up
you.
and buying your own car.
Brand new Mercedes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. Nothing wrong with it.
Sure.
Not for me. All right. Ain't happening in our house.
Okay.
And I just don't see any need for it. They live like a mile from school.
Okay.
All right.
There's Uber. I mean, there's a lot more than you had when we were growing up.
You got to know your kids.
Okay.
I don't know if I know my kids well, but I know they shouldn't be behind. I'm not giving them a car.
Oh, because it's the cell phone situation.
Well, just everything. I just don't. They're not there yet. Like, I think there are some kids that are 16 and be like, man, I'm ready to go and fully ready to handle that and take and be very good.
But it worked out.
And maybe you weren't, right? So maybe you should have waited a little bit longer.
I also didn't have a cell phone, though, either back then.
And I've said this on the show before. I think there are two of the most dangerous things for teenagers are a cell phone and a car, and we give them to them both.
Yeah.
Here, have them both at the same time.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, again, your kid might be able to handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting my kid to handle it. All right?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well,
and they're not even bad. They're not bad kids. Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They're just, I've always felt like Ty and Kaylee are, in a very good way, whatever their age, they're like 16 going on like 14.
Yeah.
Right? There's an immaturity in a simple way, in a good way, that I just think they're a little younger than everybody else. And so I'm not in no rush to hand over a car. So it does not make you a bad parent if you did.
Okay.
This is not a parenting class.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it ain't happening in my house.
Hey, I had the subs too. Like, if it wasn't like a more distracted driver, then I had the subs going, so like the entire car used to rattle because they're so loud. Yeah, those are the days. Steven, car?
Which was
So
my
do you have a
first or my
favorite?
favorite?
Your favorite?
My favorite is mine right now. It's a Toyota Corolla from like 2013. It looks like a sports car.
Flex?
Well,
Like
there
I
you
got the spoiler on the back and everything because it was like
Major
to make
flex?
it sportsy.
That's pretty good that if you're driving your favorite car right now, that's cool.
That's
It's
a cool time to be alive.
I only have it because it looks like my dream car, which is so standard, which is a Subaru WRX. That's it. But it
those
looks
are cool
like
cars, though, man. I like Subaru WRXs. No, I can't fit in them because I actually looked at those one time. Yeah, they're.
I had a
little more
Subaru
compact.
wagon. It's a little bit different.
Stick shift?
Yes,
Steven,
stick shift.
Are you doing? If you get one day, when you get that Subaru, when you become TikTok famous, you buying that Subaru at stick shift or automatic?
probably automatic.
These kids these days,
Do you think Bossman Nick's driving his favorite car right now? Doesn't he have the Mustang?
I hope that's his favorite car.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Hope you're driving your favorite car.
5.0. Yep. What's your favorite
Send them
car?
in. I'll send mine a little bit later.
Okay.
Not the Peugeot.
Is this the one you got right now?
No, I'm not going there.
Okay.
I do like the truck a lot, but and I've had some cars that I really like. I'm not even a car guy.
Brent's getting ready to cut an endorsement. Just wait. Well, I'm glad you asked, Austin, because if you go to my friends at so-and-so right now.
I thought about that. I'm not going there.
This is an endorsement.
I'm not going to go
You can't do that. I'm endorsed by Peugeot. Man. You can't do that. We can't have that.
Oh, what a setup this turned out to be.
We're going to go to break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690. Shock your mock next.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690. Another warm day, highs in the low 80s, but mostly cloudy with our skies. Some afternoon showers and a few thunderstorms lingering through the evening commute. Mostly cloudy, drying out this evening with overnight lows in the upper 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Hello, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 7, understand attorney's fees. You've probably heard no fee guarantee, or you only pay if you win. This isn't some kind of special offer. Most injury attorneys are paid this way. We get paid this way. There are limits on what percentage attorneys can charge. Our firm charges you nothing, not even costs, unless you get money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
For families worried about making ends meet, we are here. For those struggling with depression, we are here. We're also here to protect kids in crisis, assist students, and help our seniors. We're Jewish Family and Community Services, and we've been here offering support to people of every age, race, and religion for more than a century. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for all, here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin'JacksHOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Now that medical marijuana is being used in Florida, you need information. Just log on to the Mary YouTube videocast to learn about medical marijuana use in Florida. We talk to doctors, nurses, pastors, pharmacists, legislators, and law enforcement officials to bring you the most up-to-date information about medical marijuana use in Florida. Subscribe and never miss an update.
Don't miss the gun show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the gun show.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, so I've been meaning to ask you, how's your mom like a new smartphone?
She loves it. Got like 5,000 pictures of her cat already.
And how's the Safe Touch security app working?
Now that thing's amazing. Anytime she goes somewhere, she can just open up the app and check on her house.
That's why they say, with Safe Touch, you're never home alone and you're never away from home.
Yeah, the other day she was at the nail salon when she opened up the Safe Touch app and caught Mr. Tinkles living up to his name.
Well, never away from home. You know, I miss the good old days of casing a house so you know when the owners are away.
Yeah, well, with Safe Touch, those days are gone.
Good for your mom, bad for us crooks.
Just another reason to stick to the Crooks and Russ Golden Rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Simple as a flip phone.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Oh, pollen season is still hanging around. I'll take care of my allergies, but who's going to take care of keeping my truck clean? I've been going to Prime Car Wash, full service interior and exterior. And while you wait, spacious lounges, even child-friendly lounges, Starbucks coffee, iPads, Wi-Fi. Before you know it, your car or truck is cleaned. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle. Prime Car Wash. Clean inside, clean outside. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Brent Martineau.
Some NBA play-by-play here this week as well, right here on ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
Hey, you all right?
Yeah, I know. Did you look over like, are you going to make it?
Yeah, man. I'm making sure we're all good here.
Hey, listen, I get choked up about the new lineup.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
You know, and have them hint to me one way or another, are you sure you're going to take Mac? But I do know this. I do know that obviously the guys who this story originated from, and look, they're the best in the business. I mean, look, Shefty's the best in the business, period. He has more context than, you know, most people have combined in their phones, you know, multiple people. So he understands, you know, what's going on with this. But at the same time, he's always said this, things can change. And I've seen things change. At the very top of the draft, within the first 5-6 picks, we switched the top of our top 100 board and took a different player.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think that's a dangerous thing. In fact,
playing with fire.
That was Louis Riddick, by the way, talking about Mac Jones and the switching of. I'll give you two examples of why that's big-time dangerous, and it's right here in Jacksonville. One, Jack Del Rio coming on with us a couple summers ago and talking about Blaine Gabbert and him being at the buffet line when they move up and make a trade for him.
Yes.
Which means it wasn't necessarily like, hey, if he slips to here, here's the plan.
Yeah.
That everybody was on the same page. So there was either bad communication or it was kind of an emotional play. Let's go get him now. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what I read into that. The other one being Shad Khan in January when he spoke at a news conference and said, in essence, I'm not going to quote him here, but in essence said, we have to do a better job of being on the same page throughout the first couple of days of the draft and not get in the meeting room, get in the war room, and then start making other decisions, alternate decisions. Again, that wasn't the exact quote, so I don't want to misrepresent, but it was an alarming soundbite, one that I think got underplayed to kind of tell you about the past and what he's learned being in that war room the last 8 years where things might have got a little bit of emotional at times. And you hear that from, this isn't just the Jags. Teams do that, and Riddick just kind of said the same thing. If you're switching around on draft night, maybe you get lucky and you hit, and you're like, glad we made an audible.
That's gambling, man.
But that doesn't seem, for a process that is 18 months in the making,
well,
that seems a little bit reckless to me.
Obviously, with trades, things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to have
don't you
a good idea.
anticipate stuff?
No, yeah, for sure. Do we know, is Mac Jones going to be in Jacksonville?
He'll be in Cleveland.
He's going to the draft.
Yes.
So with that being said, and this is my own, I don't know Mac Jones really. I think I might have trained with him once. And when I say train with him, I saw him throwing footballs while I was doing my stuff.
You weren't catching passes?
Yeah. But listen, as a Jacksonville native like Mac Jones is, I want to try to benefit him as much as possible. And this is really me talking more to, I guess it's Mac Jones, but also his agent, whoever his PR people are. You know, when you get drafted and they play the song, the song of your choice, and you get drafted and you come out and give Roger Goodell a hug and everything. If Mac Jones, and once again, I cannot state this enough, I've talked about this before. If Mac Jones doesn't come on the stage to Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac, then what are we even doing, Mac Jones? Okay? You're doing the entire city of Jacksonville a disservice if you don't go on the stage coming out to Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac. That's all I'm going to say. Give Roger Goodell a hug, Return of the Mac. I mean, I'm just printing money for you right now, man. Embrace it, marinate in it, and get back to me.
You are like between the album cover the other day.
I just want to see people get paid, man.
I don't know why you're not working on some marketing firm.
Because I'm here, because I'm locked in this contract here, unfortunately. and there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. You guys got me.
No trade clause.
You guys got me. No trade clause. I can pull up my back tomorrow. Not going to matter, man. I'm committed here.
Jags fans, you can win a chance to meet the pick courtesy of TIAA Bank. Just visit TIAABank.com/meetthepick to register each day through draft night. That's through April 29th, coming up 2 weeks from tonight. No purchase required to enter or win. For eligibility and other details, see the official rules at TIAABank.com/meetthepick. Really cool contest, and kind of know who that pick is, so get a chance to meet that pick. Might be pretty good. Check it out at TIAABank.com/meetthepick. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Steve Austin.
Stone cold.
I'm just going to say it. Like, they have Steve Austin on today?
I mean... listen, I don't want to throw trades around or anything like that, but if we can just call him Stone Cold and have him just be the producer for the rest of the time.
I was just thinking something, okay?
Yeah.
By the way, Kuz might work himself out of this anyway. He may never come home from Cancun, you never know. Or he just may not want to come back.
Might come back, yeah.
But you know what's really strange about when I say Steve Austin?
What's up?
Is it doesn't sound right.
No, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You have to say Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Or it's a Texas Rattlesnake, because Steve Austin's also the $6 million man.
But for the casual, you have to say Stone Cold. It's like Steve Austin doesn't even sound like it's not doesn't sound like the wrestler. It sounds like our producer here on ESPN690.
No, and that's why I call him Stone Cold.
But forget about Stone Cold. Maybe we should just give this Steve a nickname prior to his name. So then we call him
Stone Bold? I mean, what do you want to do?
You don't want to play that close to it.
I want to. Dude, your name's Steve Austin. I'm calling you Stone because he was my favorite wrestler. You know how much of a Steve Austin fan I am?
You can't give the guy a same nickname.
Why not? We give Kuz.
I don't call Ty the Splendid Splinter.
What is that from? What?
Ted?
What?
Williams?
Oh.
I mean... But I'm not going to give him that nickname. He's got that nickname.
But his name's Tyler. Wait a second. But his name is Tyler Martineau. Where are you going with this?
Well, if it was Ted Williams, I wouldn't call him the Splinter.
Okay, I got that part. I was so confused for a second. I'm like, wait, what? Sorry, man. I heard Splinter. I was thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a second.
I knew where you were going with that.
Ted Williams, man.
All right, let's get going.
Hey,
Shock your
hit
mock
the off
time.
the rails button. Let's hit the song, then.
He is none other than the Shock Master!
Gonna shock yo, Mark! We're gonna shock yo, Mark!
brutality, don't you think?
Shocking. Gonna shock you back. We're gonna shock you back.
Shocking upset.
I feel shocked. Shock you back. We're gonna shock you back.
I am shocked. I am shocked. That's what I mean. I am.
You ready to go? I mean, you were fired up when I walked in here today.
Yeah.
Started the show.
Oh, yeah.
In a rage.
Oh, yeah.
Over that SI article.
You better believe it. I mean, as I should have, though, right? That was
Absolutely.
justified. That was justified,
good.
right?
It was good.
No one talks about my city that way.
I almost walked back out.
All right. Well, guess what? I got plenty of more rage to spare here, Brent, because we got this gentleman today, BT Brad 99. Maybe he's a Wayne Gretzky fan. Who knows what's going on? But we just call him Brad on Twitter, apparently. Now, let's go to the profile picture real quick.
We
because
got punched by Aaron Donald.
Oh, can we talk about that later, too, by the way? Who's going to fight Aaron Donald? I wouldn't fight Aaron Donald. No.
Well, they might get paid for it.
I mean, I get
We'll see.
maybe, but I don't know. That's a
bad choice.
Let's go ahead and bookmark that topic because we got. I'm glad you brought that up, man. We should go to the wall that says it all. You see that guy's eye socket?
Yeah, I did.
Fractured anybody? Okay. Anyways, we got Brad here. Brad 99. Maybe he's an Aaron Donald fan. Maybe he's thrown that right cross one time to my mock draft, but we'll see here. Go to the profile picture though, Brent. All right, he's got a cute dog in it. All right.
Oh.
So immediately trying to put out the cute. I'm holding a dog in the profile picture for some sympathy shock. Let's just call it maybe some sympathy shock. Let's be honest though. I'm glad it's a dog. Thank God it's not a cat because if it was a cat, back to the queue you go. You go back to the end of the line if you have a cat or anything cat related that's not a Jaguar in your bio. He checks out, he's ready to roll, and he's ready to get shocked. All right, so here we go. So number one, Trevor Lawrence, duh. This has been the one bad thing about Shock Your Mock this year, Brent. And it's getting bigger and bigger per year, but it's Trevor Lawrence, and that's okay. I still celebrate it. I'm not getting bored with it because every time I hear his name, I get a little twinkle in my eye. Like every time you say Trevor Lawrence, an angel gets her wings or whatever. So it's all good.
Well, on day 2 of Shock Your Mock, we're now on day like 20-something or 18.
We had Zach Wilson.
On day 2, you had somebody else, so you basically foiled anybody from putting anything but Trevor Lawrence at number 1.
And that guy didn't get a T-shirt
And
either.
he didn't even get it. That's what I mean. Like, they're here for the T-shirt.
You can try to trade for Patrick Mahomes. As far as I'm concerned, you're not getting a T-shirt. Patrick Mahomes comes up via trade somehow.
By the way, there's some subtweeting going on in the secondary market. And people are asking, so have you got your shirt yet? Have you got your shirt yet? Is there really a shirt?
Hey, and I can't state this enough. The shirts fall on Brent Martineau. That's at Brent A.S. Jacks. Don't come to me about that.
There's 2 answers here. Yes, there is a shirt.
Yes.
Like the shirt exists. Look at that. Look at that. Nice little ESPN.
Oh, Brent, you better believe it.
With some scared people on the back.
Yep.
That's good.
Now, are people going to get this shirt, Brent?
Whether you get it or not, I just haven't got to it yet.
Oh, okay.
But I asked Steph, I said, Steph, can you go pick up 20 envelopes for me? She was supposed to do it yesterday, so now I'm blaming Steph.
Okay.
And now today's the kid's birthday, so she's been doing a lot.
Yeah, okay, but you didn't buy him a car, so how important is their 16th birthday really?
To me, not
in the grand
really.
scheme of things, exactly. I mean, get him a cake, get him an ice cream cake, and let's move on with our lives. But I'll be honest though, Brent. Okay, this is my baby, right? And we're getting sidetracked, maybe a little off the rails. Don't hit the button quite yet, but we're getting a little sidetracked here. But let's be honest, Brent. Shock Your Mock's this is my baby, man. I take great pride in this. I sacrifice a lot of energy to this.
I sacrifice a lot of my wallet.
And heaven help me, if we get a bad Yelp review on Shock Your Mock because you can't send out some T-shirts.
Listen.
So can we take care of that for everybody,
please? I think it's John Hopkins, if I remember his name. I might have said that wrong, but I think it was. He's even over in the UK. He said, don't worry about sending me a shirt. I said, I'm sending you a shirt.
Okay.
He'll get the shirt. I'm just saying the shirts are coming, people.
Okay.
But I'm only doing like 2 delivery orders. Like I'm going to the post office
be in bulk.
with 20 at a time.
It's going to be in
bulk.
bulk.
And then with another whatever's left. Okay.
Well, okay. You just
I'm
make
not
sure
going every day to the post office.
Sounds good, but you just make sure that you use AWS because it's going to take care of the job.
I am the customer service department. All right.
You are all departments. Okay. So pick number 2, pick 25. We got Trevon Merrick. That's going to be a draft need alert. Whenever you're ready, draft need alert. If you're there, Stone Cold.
Better response than yesterday.
Stone Cold, baby. Get that guy a beer. So this is a draft need alert, obviously. You know how I feel about Merrick. We've been breaking him down a lot. But what more is there to say, Brent?
Nothing.
Trevor and Trevon. Sounds like a little bit of an R&B duo. I'm not mad at that. Trevor and Trevon. Hey, babe, let's go and turn the lights out. Like those candles. Let's put on some Trevor and Trevon. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I think we might have something here, Brent. I'm almost rooting for this. Let's go to pick number 33. Terrace Marshall Jr. once again. Okay, now, I don't know if this is like a running gag, but you went from doing a cool, hip R&B group that, you know, the wife can get into, that the missus can get into, if you will, and now you have essentially a trio. You have Destiny's Child of Trevor, Trevon, and Terrace Marshall Jr. And when we talk about Destiny's Child, who do you got? You got Beyonce, you got Kelly Rowland. Who's the other one, Brent? You know her name? Because I don't. Hey, Steven, you know the other one? I don't either.
Not a clue.
She was on the Masked Singer or whatever or the Masked Dancer, one of those mask shows. She was on that because that's how far her career has fallen. And this is my point. We don't need another T on the team back to back to back Tommy Namskis. All we need is Trevor and Trevon. Terrace Marshall Jr. might be a great wide receiver. I don't want to go Trevor, Trevon, Terrace Marshall Jr. Not talking about his playing ability, just his name. So it's a no for me. And now we're going off the rails.
Maybe it'd be Boys to Men.
And now we're going off. Ask and you shall receive. Maybe it could be Boys to Men. Don't put Boys to Men in this category, Brent. But I get what you're saying. That was a nice name drop, by the way.
Trevon.
Yeah.
Terrace. Boys to Men.
Just add an N to it. Just add an N and say Terrence, though. Come on, man. Terrace.
It's killing us.
I think
we're just going to call him Terrence if he gets here.
That'd be really respectful. So then we got pick number 45. Oh.
Can you imagine if his name's Terrence? Good thing he doesn't play defense. Imagine Joe Cullen yelling, Terrace! No. It'd be, he'd name him Terrence. Terrence!
He would.
Terrence!
He would have flashbacks of yelling at Terrence Knighton, and he would call him Terrence for sure. Let's go to pick number 45. We got a new alert here. That's not a button. Don't worry about it, Steve. I'm just saying there's a new guy alert. And it is an interior defensive line, so let's go ahead and make that a draft need. But it's going to be a womp-womp next to it. Or just, there it is. This guy's good. This guy's good. Brent, you're probably too old for this, but there's this movie called The Avengers, okay?
Yeah, heard of it.
And Steven,
Never
you
seen
can relate
it,
to
though.
this. So do you know that meme from The Avengers where it's Thanos and the kid Gamora, and he's talking to his daughter, and she's like, what did it sacrifice? And he's like, everything. This is essentially what happened here when you took Davion Nixon at pick 45. Hey, Gamora, did you get interior defensive lineman? Thanos. I did. Gamora, what did it cost? Thanos. Well, it cost a second-round pick for a guy out of Iowa who's not suited to play a 3-4 defensive tackle, who is not a promising 3-4-2 gapper, and is just kind of a guy. That's what it cost to take Devon Nixon. I get it. He's a corn-fed Iowa guy. We like those guys in the trenches and everything, but this guy is a prototypical 4-3 defensive tackle. I think he's needs a little more something in his something.
Sand in his shorts.
Don't say that. It's pants, first of all, but don't say that. We don't say that in this show.
Sand in his pants.
But he needs a little more that in his that to play, I think, a two-gap technique. I don't think that's what he's made for. So essentially, he took a pick at 45 who's playing out of position, and I hate it. I don't like Terrace Marshall Jr. because of the TTT, and I don't like Davion Nixon right now. Pick number 65. Oh, here we go.
Freiermuth with some value.
And it's going to be another draft need alert. A lot of draft need alerts today.
It's a record for draft need alerts.
This could be. So, pick number 65. Does he drop that far in the third round? This obviously.
Some think so. Remember now he's been out of the second round by Mel Kiper.
I know, but this draft is not powered by AWS. So how seriously can you take this draft right now? By the way, if you want to power something, everybody, AWS is the way to go. Pat Freiermuth. Okay, it's a draft need alert. We established that. You know what that means, Brent? It's the Pat Freiermuth fun fact of the day. And you know how hard this is.
Red Sox are on a roll.
Well, yeah, and congratulations. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll talk about that later. Here's another Pat Freiermuth fun fact. And once again, he didn't tweet anything. He just retweeted something. So he retweeted.
By the way, the Red Sox lost.
Good. Hey, just like in the Avengers, everything must counterbalance. Yes.
Minnesota won on a walk-off.
Yes, balance, just like all things should be. So Pat Freiermuth apparently knows somebody from the Elon basketball team or is just a giant Elon basketball fan because he retweeted it. Between the 25 retweets of Penn State football and the 3 retweets of the Boston Red Sox, there's 1 retweet of Elon basketball. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to do a deeper dive in that tomorrow. I can't wait, man. Who knows what's going on?
He's loyal.
He is loyal. Next guy we got, Keith Taylor Jr. Brett, you know who Keith Taylor Jr. is?
Not really.
And here we are with Keith Taylor Jr.
Corner.
All you got to know about Keith Taylor Jr. is when I looked him up on the NFL, Combine website where they have the player comparisons, you know who his player comparison was? Not available. Didn't even give him one. Didn't even give him a comparison.
There's been a lot of corners that have played in the NFL.
Hey, couldn't even give him a comparison. So that's all you got to know about that guy.
Essentially, should have compared him to Quincy Williams. Basically.
What you got to do, man? Even Quincy Williams is compared to somebody. Austin Lane, if you want to throw it out there, little Murray State connection. This guy had no NFL player comparison, so I couldn't really break him down. Did I check the film? No. Did NFL.com check the film, obviously? Probably not, so it is what it is there. Pick 130. I mean, you know how I feel about this guy. Okay? This could be the next... I don't know. This could be the next J.J. Watt as far as I'm concerned. This guy could be the next... Give me a good defensive end, Brent. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
JJ's good.
Yeah, this guy could be the next J.J. Watt. I'm going to be honest with you.
T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt as well. He's doing pretty well. He doesn't play fullback, or you say Derek Watt as well. Shout out to the whole Watt family. And then they're all their Subway. You think the Watts really eat Subway?
Yeah, I bet they do.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
On that travel circuit, they stopped at some Subways along the way.
You think so?
I bet they do.
Okay. Well, I thought they did. Okay, whatever. With that being said, I'm going to call this guy AO, okay? Because unless you want to pronounce this name. And it's no disrespect to this dude. I just,
Adetokunbo.
Adetokunbo, and then finish that up, Brent. Finish the race. Finish the race.
Agundehi.
Okay, well, there you go. That's who they're taking on pick 130. Not much to say about it. I'm not looking forward to saying that dude's name because, like I said before, I just started getting Caleb Von Chason's name right. Did I get that right?
You did.
Nailed it.
2 days in a row.
Pick 145.
Large explosive pass rusher, by the way, who flashes ability on occasion. On occasion.
Hey. I don't want to brag or anything, but I have a pretty good understanding of the language that Joe Cullen speaks, and nowhere in Joe Cullen's vocabulary is the phrase on occasion. You either do it or you don't. But there is no on occasion. So thank you, Brent Martineau, for that deep dive right there. Is there an NFL player comparison to him?
No,
probably not. Huh?
Not at least here.
We're going back to back, no player comparisons. Pick one for probably Austin Lane. Pick 145, Chuba Hubbard. You know how I feel about him, Brent?
We like
this
Chuba.
Is the value, Brent. Value.
Just wanted to change his name to Chuba.
I know, right? That's a little confusing, but we're going to let it slide. Once again, in terms of endorsements, in terms of T-shirts, I could have fun with this dude. And plus, I think he's going to be a great running back. Ran a 4.3 at the pro day, not the combine, obviously. Don't give him that much credit. At the pro day, probably was downhill, but still impressive nonetheless. Finishing up this draft, we got Trey Hill, interior offensive line, pick 170, and Royce Newman, offensive tackle, pick 249. So let's...
Hello, Newman.
Newman. Seinfeld, right? I mean, someone finally got that, by the way. I can't believe you didn't get that, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you watch Seinfeld?
I did, but I'm just not like that locked in every episode guy.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Still trying to find The Office.
Well, good luck with that one. So now in retrospect, in conclusion, the cliff notes of this mock draft: Trevor Lawrence, congratulations. Trevon Merrick, you better believe it. Back-to-back Trevor and Trevon, R&B, let's get platinum records going. And then you ruined it with Terrace Marshall Jr. I feel like you're cracking a joke at me. We don't appreciate here. Davion Nixon playing out of position. Pat Frymuth, good to see you again, man. We see you every single day, essentially. Keith Taylor Jr., I don't know. I wish there was a comparison. I wish somebody could tell me what Keith Taylor Jr. could do or who he's compared to. No comparisons out there. Can give you that one. Obviously, the next guy, pick 130. Ayo, what's up? Pick 145, Chuba Hubbard. I like it. Hey, yo. Hey, as Tyson Adebayo used to always say, hey, yo. Hey, yo. And then we got Trey Hill and Royce Newman. Is it the worst mock draft ever? Nah, maybe. Is it the best mock draft ever? Far, far from it. And you better think that your best friend in that picture, that good-looking pup in that picture, because I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be respectful, because he is the goodest of the good boys. But in terms of your mock, it is the worst of the worst, and we just shocked the shockiest of the shocks. Brent, finish him up.
Please, we cannot have a mock draft tomorrow with Trevor, Trevon, and Terrace, because I think at the very least Austin will run out of material.
I don't know.
I mean, we do that for like a third time in a row.
I'm literally like a stand-up comedian.
To the point we're putting Mac Jones at number one.
I literally have like a mock microphone in my living room. Okay, so what's the deal with Trevor and Trevon and Terrace? Have you seen this? Have you heard of this? Like, I'm running out of material.
Ronan's like, what are you doing, Dad?
I know, right? No, thankfully he's at school right now. But I'm sure my wife's got questions.
Plenty of questions to be asked about you. Football at 5 coming up. By the way, Brad, BT Brad, Aaron Donald number?
Yeah.
Your mock just got shocked, but we'll send a T-shirt for you or the dog.
Eventually. Just open-ended.
It does exist.
Yeah, we have to get some fine print in here.
Think about the shirts as kind of like Kuz's wedding gift. You have about a year to do it. Right? Isn't that kind of the thing? Like you got a year to do it?
I mean, I think it's more of writing out your wedding thank yous.
Is that the year?
Yeah, what?
I think you have a year to give a gift.
To give a gift?
I'm pretty sure.
You don't have the ceremony.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I thought you had a year to give a gift.
Who says that?
I don't know. Maybe it is the thank yous.
No, it's the thank yous for sure.
I have
Shame
Kuz's
on you,
gift
Brent.
before he got married. It's at my house, but he left early. He should have stayed until Wednesday. He would have got it. And it would have been a good one.
Please bring it in when he comes back.
Yes, we will. We'll do it live on the air.
I can't wait.
Sorry, Nicole will have to come in for that. All right, Football at 5. Coming up next, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've been wanting a new ride, right? But you can't find what you're looking for? Well, check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. They have over 400 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from. Worried about your credit? Well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hey, April is Financial Literacy Month. At some point, you've said to yourself, man, if only I had known. We all make money mistakes, but the worst mistake is not educating our kids and teens about how money, credit, and debt work. So make a point to really talk with your kids about money. If you need help, visit any one-to-one financial credit union branch or our website at 121fcu.org. They're never too young to start investing and never too old to stop learning. Thanks. Federally insured by NCUA.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
They just don't make them like they used to. People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffin Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
1250-697.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Jackie Robinson Day today on this 74th anniversary of the Dodgers Hall of Famer's MLB debut and breaking of the sport's color barrier. Robinson's legacy not limited to baseball, explains ESPN's Doug Glanville.
The door he was opening was well beyond the sports realm, and that he was not going to stick to sports because he couldn't stick to sports. He was the voice and ultimately the empowerment for people to see equality in each other and to actually turn it into something that's not just a tenant, but actually a way of life.
Doug Glanville on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Twins got a walk-off single from Max Kepler, snapped the Red Sox 9-game winning streak 4-3. Nets forward Lamarcus Aldridge announced his retirement from the NBA, citing an irregular heartbeat. The 35-year-old, the second overall pick in the 2006 draft, was diagnosed with a heart condition his rookie year. NCAA placed the USC men's basketball program on 2 years probation for a former associate coach's role in the national bribery scandal. The Trojans avoided a postseason ban.
The next generation of paint protection is here. New 303 graphene nanospray coating will provide up to 12 months of professional level protection, insane water beating, and jaw-dropping shine with one simple application. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with a home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein with another edition of Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 3, insurance companies are not your friends. They are not your good neighbors, and you are definitely not in good hands. Insurance companies fight every day to not pay claims. They don't want you to get a lawyer, but they have lawyers. So what should you do? Hire someone who is really on your side right now. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Got some intense conversations going on today.
Yeah.
Football at 5. Here it is. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690. We talk a lot of football all show long, but we'll do it here. We do want to get to a couple other things. Well, actually, let's mention it real quick. You mentioned Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the latest on the Donald thing. It's obviously under investigation. You got to be careful with this story because we don't know what he did. Was it his fault? All that stuff. But he's obviously connected, and he also connected, it seems like, according to the reports, in a pretty good way with this guy, and his eye tells the story.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you right now, just mind your P's and Q's what we say about Aaron Donald, because I don't want him coming after you. Because if he comes after you, and I know how you get sometimes, right? Because I always got your back.
Yeah.
This one, though, and I'm not going to lie here, if Aaron Donald comes in the parking lot, I'm looking the other way.
I'm the drunk guy in the bar with my big friend. It's like running my mouth and then running away.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I can't up here, man. Good luck with that one. No, it's a crazy story, obviously. This occurred at it was a nightclub, in the wee hours of the morning, as they say. And yeah, apparently Aaron Donald took this guy's bottle or something like that because he had bottle service. The guy didn't like that. They kind of have a verbal altercation, and then Aaron Donald does what Aaron Donald does. He goes beast mode.
You fight for a living. You probably wouldn't want to fight Aaron Donald, seriously.
I mean, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be the most pumped up about it, no.
I mean, Aaron Donald's on the short list of – there's probably a lot of people in the NFL you don't want to fight, quite frankly. If you're anybody in a bar, not you, I'm just saying anybody, it's probably not the smartest. Although we saw that one, what was it, like the Raiders? Was it the Raiders tackle?
That wasn't actually him, though.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Okay.
No,
I saw like
he was on, shout out to Chris Long, because Chris Long actually had him on.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, I don't think that was me, so.
It wasn't him.
It wasn't him. They said it was, but it wasn't.
It's a good thing, because going back to the locker room after that might be tough.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, even if it was that guy, he was already out of the league.
Okay.
So he didn't actually play for the Raiders. But no, I get what you're saying,
But
sir.
listen, you got 320-pound men. They play a physical game. They're already, not that I want to fight the chubby-looking defensive tackle, but I certainly don't want to fight the ripped defensive tackle that Aaron Donald looks like.
And this isn't like, and with all due respect to basketball players, but when there's like, we've had this conversation with Bill Laimbeer. Like when Bill Laimbeer threw the punch and he kind of like, it was like a slap punch.
Yes.
When you say NFL players, like I'm reminded of like Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan. Andre Johnson, the most humble, soft-spoken guy ever, even had, a line that was crossed. And when that line was crossed, Brent, he was throwing punches. A.J. Green, man, at Jalen Ramsey, throwing punches.
Yes.
These guys know how to hit, let's just say.
So I just say Aaron Donald's on the DNF list, the do not fight list.
Yeah.
Who else would be on it?
Oh,
like, is Metcalf on it? I know Metcalf's measurables and all this stuff. I know you said like Greg Jones back in the day.
And that's it.
Well, I'm saying right now, current.
Okay.
I mean, Greg Jones is probably the one guy I would take with me anywhere I needed to go.
I'm just saying, if I was a promoter and I can get Greg Jones in his prime versus Aaron Donald, you want to talk about, because you got the Jake Paul or Logan Paul and Ben Askren this weekend. We're not going to talk. We're not going to entertain.
No, we don't do that
because we're better than that,
yes.
Brent. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if I want to throw like a sideshow fight like that, that would be the one to make. But other guys in the NFL right now.
Like Metcalf's kind of like this physical monster.
He is, but you have to question the agility, right? You just got to bob and weave him a little bit because he's got those Tom Brady hips, and maybe you're going to be okay. No, I'm just
cone drill wasn't good.
You just got to
shuttle or whatever it was.
You just got to run in a serpentine pattern, and you're good to go.
It's like fighting a gator, like an alligator.
It's like fighting a gator on land. You can't handle it. No, I get what you're saying with Metcalf, though. I don't know, man. Like I'm thinking linebackers, and I'm obviously thinking. Well, and this guy's retired too, like Patrick Willis. Remember how big Patrick Willis was and just like athletic, like that guy, explosiveness, Calais Campbell, I think would be, I don't know. I don't trust anybody who has a voice like that. Like you just know there's strength behind that voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, like he could crush a skull.
I'll give you one here on the Jags.
What do you got?
Underrated that you wouldn't. But
Leon Jacobs?
Yes.
Yeah, the Wisconsin guy, Wisconsin connection. Yeah.
Guy's got muscles in his face.
Okay. And listen, he does have muscles in his face. He does.
He does.
He really does.
You have muscles in your face. You're a big dude.
I remember I saw him at training camp. He took his pads off, and I go, "Excuse me, sir."
I'm not talking
Pardon
cheekbones.
me?
I'm talking muscles in your face.
No, but you know what? And it's not fair to him. Okay, and it's not fair to him. But I'm just saying that Derrick Henry run where he stiff-armed Leon Jacobs. Remember that play?
That's true.
And I think of that. Derrick Henry's got
Derrick Henry, by the way.
No.
Derrick Henry would be high on that list.
Yeah. Here's the real question. 4th and 1. Aaron Donald versus Derrick Henry. Is Derrick Henry getting the first down? And this is the one right here, folks. This is the hard-hitting question. No pun intended, or pun intended, whatever.
It's essentially the Oklahoma drill.
Aaron Donald versus Derrick Henry. Who you taking? Now, keep in mind, this is coming from Pro Football Focus. He didn't really rate Aaron Donald that well in the run game.
I think I think I'd put I really do feel like I'd put my money on Derek.
Yeah.
And that's a tough call.
Man.
It's a tough call, but I think I would.
Yeah.
Maybe have we ever seen anybody just really just like just tackle him at the moment, like, and just, I mean, I'm sure we have, but it doesn't feel like it's one guy. It feels like there was no momentum built up. Maybe,
for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. I remember, like, I think it was
it's not like he's never been tackled for a loss.
I think T.J. Watt had like a stunt where he pulled and he got in the backfield, but once again, no head of steam, and T.J. Watt like tacked him on his legs, and it was like a tackle for loss, and he was celebrating all that stuff because that's what the Watts do. They're very intense individuals. But if we're talking Derrick Henry with a full head of steam, I think I like Derrick Henry's odds too, but Brian, Aaron Donald's a different beast, man.
I know. That's a tough call.
I feel bad even for some reason, if you'd even be listening to this for whatever reason, like he types in his name, all of a sudden you put out, hey, Aaron Donald gets his butt kicked by Derrick Henry, and he finds that out. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Here's one of the reasons I lean toward Derek.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a better chance I see Derek.
You're not wrong.
Sooner than I see Aaron Donald.
You're not wrong. Hey, you know what? I'm sure we're probably going to see him Thursday night this year.
I think it's a smart move on my part.
I'm sure we'll see Derrick Henry Thursday night prime time, so we got to be careful what we say about Derrick Henry. Hey, I got your back.
Urban Meyer talking with Michael Irvin about Alex Smith. It's the first time I've heard this, but listen.
What are your thoughts of that comeback that Alex Smith made?
Oh, I wanted him here. We talked to him about joining here, and he's had a tough injury. And of all the players I've ever coached, and I would tell people this when people didn't know how tough he was, he's one of the toughest cats I've ever been around. He's one of those guys who never had a beat in his life, just really smart, photographic memory. He did the things in the spread offense before people even knew what he was doing. And then when I saw him, and I was embarrassed to say that I knew he had a bad injury. He's so private. I had no idea how bad until I watched that. My wife and I looked at my wife. She was sobbing as we're watching that documentary. And I know his wife, Elizabeth, and Alex are dear friends. His parents are dear friends. He's one of the great stories in NFL history.
But you said something in there, Coach. You said you wanted him there. You guys tried to get Alex Smith in Jacksonville?
We had conversations with him, and there is some medical people that in our organization that were very concerned. And you remember our GM actually drafted Alex at San Francisco. So you have two of the people in Jacksonville that loved Alex as much. That was deeper than a player now. He's like our family. Both of us feel so strong about him. That's something that we're just going to keep an eye on because I hope he comes back.
How about that? Wow. That's Urban Meyer with Michael Irvin. And thanks to Jordan DeLugo, by the way. Follow Jordan on Twitter, covers the Jags. I saw him tweet this out. I said, where did you see that? Yeah. And he said Michael Irvin on the show, the marketing folks sent it to him. And so I appreciate Jordan for sharing that. But that's pretty insightful stuff, man.
Because a lot revealed there.
Listen, we wondered about Alex Smith. We've talked a lot about Alex Smith. Is it Alex Smith? Is it Fitzpatrick? We've had those debates. Mm-hmm. But I guess we weren't totally wrong with the concept of, hey, yeah, if you can get Alex Smith down here to help out with Trevor Lawrence, that's something the Jags are interested in exploring. So that's part one.
And by the way, you called that like right away. I mean, now were you talking to Urban Meyer the whole time? Maybe you guys got a little special connection I don't know about, kind of like you had with some other people. But yeah, you definitely called that, and I wasn't buying into the narrative.
Yeah, and so there's some interest there. But then I think the next part of this that's fascinating to me is Urban said, the doctors had some concerns, and what I take from that is not that he can play, but concerns about the value you're going to have to give him, like the dollars. The dollars are going to be pretty high probably to go get Alex Smith. And I think a lot of people would covet him as in the backup role. And so dollars versus injury history and still maybe a little bit concerning of what that is. That's interesting because he was medically cleared and he played, man. He played okay, played pretty well.
Yeah.
So I kind of got past the injury part of this. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I mean, that's an interesting 60 seconds. By the way, good on Michael Irvin right there from an interview standpoint.
Great question.
Not only the great question, but the follow-up to go back to it because he kind of slipped that in. Like we wanted him here, said it quick, and then moved on.
Yeah.
Well, good job by Michael Irvin in that instance to say that. But this isn't surprising to me. I guess I figure two things on the Alex Smith front. One, if the Jags really, really wanted him, and again, the injury stuff obviously played a role here, it sounds like from what Urban just said. then they can go get him. And we still kind of feel like Gardner Minshew might be on the block or whatever might be. Not sure if he'll even be on the roster in the fall. But they go get a veteran backup quarterback, and so they've kind of moved on from Alex Smith, probably from a medical situation. The other thing is we wondered, would they wait around for Alex Smith? Alex Smith, and rightfully so, if I were him, I'd be looking to see where can I fit to maybe get into a starting job and compete. I want to play, yep. Right? If I'm going to do this, I want to play. I don't want to just come tutor a guy along. So maybe he becomes available in September. I still wouldn't rule that out based on what Urban Meyer said. If he does become available, might see him as a part that could play a backup role to Trevor Lawrence. And again, he feels like the guy that could tutor Trevor Lawrence along. Now, they invested in the backup quarterback spot to the tune of like 2 years, $5 million. So it would be surprising, but very revealing stuff from Urban Meyer there with Michael Irvin.
Well, and it goes to show you once again, and obviously I was a little hesitant because I thought the price tag was going to be too much for Alex Smith. But I think what this kind of gives you, and once again, we can't say this enough, Urban Meyer comes out and basically takes us behind the scenes, right? There's not a lot of coaches out there to be like, yeah, we want to take him, but, cool. Value, like, once again, there's Urban Meyer doing his thing. But it goes to show you that Urban Meyer is trying to bring his guys in. Now, yes, he's brought his coaches in, obviously, and his strength staff and all that stuff, but I'm saying players, too. Like, he feels comfortable with the type of guys that he's either coached or that he knows very well. And then when that doesn't, come through, then he trusts, the position coaches, the coordinators, and all that stuff. We've seen that with free agency so far. But it goes to show you, and once again, I don't buy into the whole narrative of they're going to take 3 or 4 Ohio State guys in the draft. But it goes to show you, Urban Meyer is leaning on what he knows more than the unknown. I think that he's from the standpoint now where either you're going to swing and you're going to hit or you're going to swing and miss. But if you swing and miss, at least you're going to swing and miss on the guys that you know.
Yeah, that's a great point, too. Let's get to that in a little bit more in a length in just a moment. By the way, that's coming from the Michael Irvin podcast. Podcast One's Michael Irvin podcast. That's where you can find the Urban Meyer interview. I'm not sure if this guy has a podcast or not, but he can give you the best on fishing there is. And right now we bring in Rick Riles with the Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day here at Action Sports Shacks on ESPN690. Good evening, Rick.
What do you mean you don't know if I've got a podcast, Brent Martineau? What? Oh my gosh! Every Thursday evening it gets updated. Don't you dare forget about that. And I don't expect you to miss another one. But I've got a burger, Brent Martineau, that I'll bet you that within the next 48 hours, while we talk about the coach bringing in his guys, who's going to be the first to call and say, "Is this going to be the resurrection of Tim Tebow?"
Well, yeah, that's behind the scenes, or at least low key. I think people are afraid to wonder too much about that, but there's still a curiosity there, I think. Oh, did we lose Rick?
Awesome.
Looked like.
See,
he's coming.
Oh, he's back.
He's going to come back in. But by the way, listen to Rick Riles every day here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN690. Today, probably not the best of fishing weather. At least that was the plan. But I know going into the weekend, it looks better. And 7 a.m. on ESPN690, 7 to 9 every Saturday morning with Rick Riles. I think we have Rick back. What's the fishing forecast? We'll get to more Tim Tebow talk down the road.
Well, it's going to be good. In fact, the weekend looks outstanding, and that is starting tomorrow. I've got a little offshore trip planned tomorrow, and it looks like both Saturday and Sunday are going to be good for the smaller boats wanting to get in the blue water. I like the looks of it. Might be a little cloudy. Better take your rain jacket. But the winds are going to drop off this evening, and it looks like they're going to stay dropped off. That is great news for the guys that want to fish the edge of the Gulf Stream. The tuna are biting right on the break. You get a little bit further offshore. There's a few mahi. There's not a lot yet, but there certainly is more on the way. Brent, I don't know if you heard me the first time or not, but, Brent, I'll bet you a burger that you're going to get a call wanting to know if the coach wants his guys, is he bringing back Tim Tebow?
Yeah, I bet that's a good burger bet right there, and you might win that one. I think we'll probably get a call or two on that, no doubt about it. Rick Riles, thanks for jumping in. We appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow evening, 5:15.
Thank you, Brent.
You bet. That's Rick Riles with your Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. Again, check out the show, 7 a.m. on ESPN 690 on Saturday mornings, 5:15 right here each and every day on ESPN 690. The Tebow question's an interesting one. I'm not going to get into it right now. There's a lot of people suggesting, could he, will he, would he be a part of the organization in some way? I think that was floated out immediately as kind of like, ha-ha. I still have my curiosities about Tebow's and involved. That relationship is so close, but is it too close to even wrestle with something like that? Whether it's trying out to be a tight end, whether it's in the organization in some capacity, I don't know. I mean, nobody knows really what Tim is thinking next in his life. Does he want to keep doing TV? He's out of baseball now. He's married. He's got life going on. So not going to get into it too much today. I think the story really right now is this podcast with Michael Irvin. It brings up some interesting questions about Alex Smith. Urban Meyer said, hey, they wanted him here. The doctor said, we're not comfortable with that. C.J. Beathard is the backup quarterback, we think, unless Gardner Minshew is the backup quarterback. Right now, both still on the roster. Would you have felt better if Alex Smith was here instead of C.J. Beathard and whatever's going to happen with Gardner Minshew? I hate to talk about Minshew in the past tense. It just feels like he's not going to be a part of this thing in the fall, although I don't think we should resign ourselves to that. He's still on the roster right now. It just, over the last month, hasn't felt like he's going to be a part of it going forward.
If money wasn't the option, and we know that Gardner Minshew is going to be gone, then I would probably prefer Alex Smith over Beathard just because Alex Smith has more experience with an Urban Meyer offense. But I'm not going to change my stances now about how I feel about the whole backup quarterback position for Trevor Lawrence. I think that a backup quarterback can help out a lot sometimes, especially to a guy who has a lot to learn. But I think when you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence who comes in with a wealth of experience from the college level, I think when you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence who obviously has the talent and kind of has the pedigree, if you will, to be a special guy in this league. And you talk about a guy who seems to be set up for success in terms of his quarterback coach, in terms of the coordinator, and obviously the head coach in Urban Meyer. I'm not so concerned with the backup quarterback position being brought in to help him out then. I'm really not. Now, if you want the backup quarterback position to come in here and possibly win some games because knock on the most wood you can because Trevor Lawrence goes down for a couple games, then okay. Once again, I'd probably go Alex Smith more than C.J. Beathard. But if we're just having the conversation about can a backup quarterback really help Trevor Lawrence that much, I think I'm okay with C.J. Beathard.
Yeah, and you've been very consistent with that. I kind of like the idea of it. And Beathard's been around the block a little bit, and I hear you. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence needs this. That's not what I'm saying. I just think Alex Smith, who knows Urban Meyer, who knows Trent Baalke, who has been in the league for 15 years, the ups and downs, has been a number one pick.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Has dealt with that pressure. I don't see how it could hurt. And that's why the logic made so much sense for the Jags to at least even investigate and look at, and the dots connected. But listen, I'm not also sitting here saying, let's not over-dramatize this. I'm like, oh, my gosh, you didn't get Alex Smith. Now Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be nearly as good as I thought he could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not that situation. But a very interesting comment coming from Urban Meyer. And quite frankly, I'm not that surprised they were interested. Yeah. I thought they should have been interested all along in Alex Smith. Let's hit the happy hour horn here on a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
It's a celebration!
I noticed the fellas from Vida de Luis were down in South Florida. Big video shoot. They got a big campaign and promotion coming out, which is pretty cool. Having some fun with the Vida de Luis tequila. Check it out, VitaDeLuis.com. Reposado and Añejo Blanco, where you can find a bottle of Vida de Luis. Locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville Beach. VitaDeLuis.com. Taste of the islands in every drop.
I feel like being in the tequila business, all the alcohol is probably the most, like, I guess, the most fun. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, we associate tequila with, like, sunshine and
boating,
vacation and boating and all that stuff, like margaritas and all that stuff.
Spring break.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you go to Senor Frog, right? And
yeah,
it's
yeah. No, exactly. Like it's something of a good time. I feel like if we're trying to rep like whiskey or gin, then it's like I don't know. I feel like it's like Goodfellas or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little more serious out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Little Jack Daniels coming at you.
But hey, we can get serious if you want.
Yeah, okay.
It's fine.
Except for Aaron Donald. Take all our drinks, sir.
Urban Meyer had some more comments. What else did he say in this podcast with Michael Irvin? Plus, we're still looking for your favorite car, folks. Favorite car you've owned. Happy birthday to Tyler and Kaylee. They're not getting one, but maybe you can share what they should dream about.
Should we start a Venmo account for them, like the toaster oven? A little GoFundMe page. Hey, Jack's Twitter's come up big before.
Hey, Dilla, can you start a car fund for the Twins?
Man. Let's go.
I mean, come on. They need it about as much as Trevor needs a toaster. All right?
That's a good point.
We'll be back on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly cloudy skies today, some midday and afternoon showers and even a few thunderstorms. Temperatures in the lower to mid-80s. Drying out this evening under mostly cloudy skies down to the upper 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Boss! Crooks R Us just put out a special bulletin about Safe Touch security.
Special bulletin about Safe Touch? Oh, this is gonna fire up my ulcer, I know it.
Boss, the headline says, Safe Touch Security has announced their new advanced video surveillance system.
Oh, here it comes.
Oof, this is huge. It's a multi-camera interior and exterior professional surveillance system with 24/7 video storage.
Great. Just what we need is Safe Touch up in their game again.
Boss, this is next level. I think Fort Knox would be jealous of this thing.
Deep breaths. They can keep their fancy camera system. It doesn't change the Crooks R Us golden rule one bit. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Nope, doesn't change it, but it sure underlines it.
Just get me a glass of milk, will you?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com. Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine?
because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Brent Martineau.
Well, listen, if we wanted to just bump WWE by like a half hour or a few minutes, we should have just rolled your highlight tape.
Austin Lane.
Oh! And there it is. And now Brent's playing ball. All of a sudden, Chapman throwing some high heat at me. Watch out for that suspension, Brent. Real quick, though.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN690.
I still can dominate this league. I know that. But if I ever reach that my max potential or getting back there like I feel now, man, they say the sky's the limit, but it's probably higher than that. They got a great team. They're definitely on a winning team. You saw they won 12 games last year, right? More than what my team I played for won last year, I think.
That's Jadeveon Clowney. I don't understand the market for Jadeveon Clowney. It's been wacky. It's really one of the mysteries out there. Like, this guy is a good player. He has not shown that he is a bona fide, consistent star player. Mm-hmm. And he has been as highly touted as any player coming out over the last 7, 8, 10 years with his physical gifts. He's an interesting cat. And at one point, you know, he was the number 1 overall pick. This year, the Jaguars have the number 1 overall pick. And they are not going with a pass rusher. They are going with a quarterback. And Jags fans, you can win a chance to meet the pick, courtesy of TIAA Bank. Just visit TIAABank.com/meetthepick to register each day through draft night. 2 weeks from today. No purchase required to enter or win. For eligibility and other details, see the official rules at TIAABank.com/meetthepick, which will be Trevor Lawrence, we believe. Jadeveon Clowney, why isn't there a market for this guy? Like, why does he have a hard time finding a team and sticking with a team and signing, like, let's just say a 4-year, $60 million deal, 4 years, $52 million? I mean, Dante Fowler got like a 3-year deal, I think worth $16 mil or $13 mil or something like that with Atlanta.
Leonard Floyd just got paid for the Rams.
Yeah, I don't understand the Clowney stuff. Like, and I know his stats don't jump. We talked about this a lot with the Jan stuff, right? Yeah. He had like 3 sacks that one season. And I think a lot of that last year was he was betting on himself and saying, I'm going to sit this out. Yeah. And it didn't really work for him in terms of a big payday. Didn't work for Jan in terms of how he bet on himself for a big payday. I don't know. Clowney is a weird deal. It's bizarre. He's a good player, I think. He might not be a great player, but you don't have to be a great player to get big money at that position.
No, I think with Clowney, though, it's just he's a victim of circumstance and time. Because if he would have came out the same year as Dee Ford and Frank Clark and those guys got paid, I think Clowney is in that bracket as well. And we talked about Yannick Ngakoue possibly being in that bracket. He doesn't get paid. What happens to Yannick Ngakoue in the next couple of years? Now he's making a fraction of what he probably could have even made in Jacksonville. And Clowney's the same situation. I think Clowney's a great player. I think in terms of the run game and the pass game, I think he's balanced on that, right? Like he doesn't favor one over the other. If you go over his quarterback sack totals the past couple of years, they are lacking a little bit. But I think you see a guy with his size, athleticism, and speed, and pending that he's healthy, I think you got a guy there. I think Cleveland's going to be, especially with Myles Garrett on the other side, like that's going to be quite the, I feel like, tandem to have to deal with. But once again, it's just for whatever reason right now, the market on edge rushers, it's down. And I think it's down because when you had guys like Frank Clark and Dee Ford make all that money, did it pay off? No, absolutely not. In terms of their production right now, it doesn't even come close. So I think you see teams that are a little more, in terms of keeping their cash to the chest a little more just because they don't want to risk it for a guy who can maybe only get you 4 or 5 sacks per year because that's what it comes down to, Brent, more than anything. Yeah, quarterback hurries are good and tackles for losses are great, but you're paying that guy that much money because it's all about the quarterback sacks.
Yeah, and he could get up to $10 million. I think he does help that Browns defense. They needed some help. They could be dynamic there. He sounds excited about it. It's cool to hear people say they're excited to play for the Bills, the Jags, and the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that's different.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You said it. You didn't want to go to Cleveland coming up.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people wouldn't want to go to Buffalo, whether it's the weather or the organization or whatever. There's been people that don't want to go to Jacksonville, right? Or might talk under their breath about it, that sense. All right, I'd rather not end up there. That's not the case right now. Sure, money wins the day at some point, but this wasn't a money thing. He wanted to be a part of that, which I think is pretty cool for Cleveland. I like seeing some of these teams that we haven't heard from in a while be good. We'll see if Cleveland can consistently build off it like Buffalo seemingly has and will continue to do. And, of course, the Jags are kind of in the ground stages of that. J-Lo and A-Rod, like we said, Anthony Edwards hadn't heard of A-Rod, probably heard of J-Lo.
Hey, I'd hope so for his sake, yes.
Split up.
Yeah.
TMZ
End
special.
Of an era, Brent. End of an era.
Page 6.
End of an era.
It actually lasted longer than I thought.
You think so?
They were probably together for like 4 years, right?
And she's had her. Let's be honest, Brent. She's had her history now. She's dated a couple guys.
I think A-Rod's had a little history too.
No, good, a lot of history. Then call it the History Channel if you want it, man. Okay, do what you gotta do. I don't know, man. Like I just thought because they seem kind of like the same people. They're very driven, very career oriented, right? Like she's doing the Super Bowl halftime show. A-Rod's doing TikTok videos. Like they're all about the brand and everything. I just wanted to see him make it, man. It's just sad. It's an end of an era. What's up?
You really feel heartfelt?
I mean, I honestly, I really don't care. Oh. If this was me 8 years ago and I'm playing football, then I would care. I'd be like, hey, J-Lo, what's going on? But obviously now I'm a married man. I'm happily married man. Those times have passed. But it makes you wonder, though, Brent, and this is the real question right now, because you know what happens in situations, right? When the couples break up, what do? Do you shoot lower than the previous, mate, or do you shoot for the stars once again? Like, do you think J-Lo is going to upgrade over A-Rod, which is hard to do, and do you think A-Rod's going to try to upgrade over J-Lo, which is very hard to do?
Well, let's go here.
Okay.
Who has it easier to upgrade?
I mean, come on, J-Lo all day. J-Lo all day.
There's a lot more fish in the sea, better than A-Rod, and a little less fish in the sea, better than J-Lo.
With all due respect to A-Rod, Jennifer Lopez is still on fire right now in terms of her career. She just put the Super Bowl how long ago?
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So she's still doing her thing. A-Rod, okay, well, you own the Twins.
He's become kind of...
I'm sorry, the Timberwolves.
He's kind of become an old owner.
An old owner. Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, maybe there's a market out there for that. But then, like, I bring up the Robert Kraft example. If Robert Kraft's an owner, what happened to him? He got busted doing some stuff he probably shouldn't have been doing. You're the owner, man. Like, you're wearing Jordan shoes or whatever. You should be getting whatever you want. But that's not how it works sometimes. So I think J-Lo is better far off than A-Rod is.
You know, I don't, and I've really thought about this, but it's making me wonder it now. How hard would it really be to be married if you're like that level superstar?
I couldn't imagine. You can't even have a life.
I mean, like Giselle and Brady have been together for a while.
They've done a
right?
great
They
job.
seem like they've made it work.
Yeah.
Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Yeah. But the whole...
But, like, will it last? Like, you would never put money that it will last, either one of them. because they don't last.
I know, man.
Like, is there? You guys know this stuff way better than me, but is there like this celebrity couple that's like that has lasted? I mean, that's like impossible. I mean, you live different lives. You have you're the ego of everything. People pulling away at all levels. I just think it would really be hard.
Depressed, man.
I think it'd be hard.
You're making me depressed.
I mean,
I can't think of any.
What's more of a chance of happening?
Okay.
A power couple like that stays together, or a childhood actor actually ends up having a successful life.
Oh my God. Dude, I mean,
and career.
Man, I'm not putting my money on any of those things, honestly.
I mean, it seems like both are destined for disaster.
Yeah, it's just I feel like when you mix, because like let's be honest, J-Lo alpha, A-Rod alpha, you mix two alpha. I don't know though. I don't know, man. I shouldn't be speaking on this because I have no idea.
No, I don't either. I realistically ask. I think that'd be very.
I just feel like their whole dynamic had to be exhausting.
I mean, I've been married 20-something years. Yeah. But if I was that level of superstar, I just don't feel like I'd be married 20-something years. Like, I don't know. Maybe I would. I think it's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't, if I was that level of superstar, I probably wouldn't have got married when I was 14.
I just feel like once you find the one, you find the one. And we're supposed to be in wedding season right now with Coos, and now you're breaking everybody's heart saying, if I was more famous, I would think about it. I don't know, man. But with J-Lo's perspective, though.
Well, Steph wouldn't want to be with me if I was more famous. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, because you'd be like insufferable or what?
Probably.
Do you think she keeps on okay, so if you're Jennifer Lopez, are athletes off the table now, or do you keep on dating athletes?
Yeah, she seems like she's gonna
Mike Trout?
Yeah.
Mike Trout, is he married? He's probably married with like 10 kids because it's Mike Trout.
My favorite thing about the breakup is we think we can be better off being friends. What is this, 7th grade?
No, no. No.
I mean, what are we in 7th grade?
No. You can't do that, especially when there's like an engagement ring. No. Did you see the whole announcement, by the way? It was like a joint announcement, like Good Morning America had it on one channel with A-Rod, and then J-Lo was on like the E! Network. It was like a joint, like, it was almost like a PR move where it's like, all right, we messed up here. We got to disclose this. Like, what was that? It was like it's calculated. Especially after the day that we talked about them being together. Remember that? Because yesterday we talked about, they're still together.
Who buys dinner? A-Rod or J-Lo?
They probably pay paper, rock, scissors, and whoever loses has to buy dinner. No, I'm sure it's back and forth.
Whose prenup is better?
I mean, they're not married though. So
I know, but
fine.
if they were on their way, they were engaged.
I know.
I mean, who handles that stuff?
I don't know, man.
I'm so glad I don't have to think about that.
It sounds exhausting just talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, why does anybody want to be that big of a star?
That's a different life.
I don't even know if I want to make that kind of money.
You remember when Bezos put up with his...
I am trying hard on doggy coin there, Dogecoin,
what do you think,
whatever it is, Dogecoin.
What do you think? What do you think Jeff Bezos, when he got a divorce? You think that was messy or not? Because she became like the 5th most richest woman in the world after that.
Yeah, and she's done a lot of great things with
she's cool.
Money too.
Yeah. But I feel like they get along. Maybe you just get so rich you don't even care.
I don't know. I just don't pay attention to it, so it might have been more messy than I would even know.
Yeah.
Yay or nay on Team USA uniforms for the 2021 Olympics?
It's going to be a big fat no for me. Did you see them?
I did.
Thoughts? I bet you love them. I guarantee you love them.
No, I don't. But
the Ralph Lauren collection.
I used to think those were the coolest things going when I was a kid. Like
my life
goal was to get like a sweatsuit like the Olympics.
They look like sailors. Why can't TV we're the United States of America? Give us something cool for once. You look like dorks.
Who should they go with instead of Ralph Lauren?
Oh man, anybody. Go with FUBU. Bring FUBU back if you have to. I don't care, man. Ralph Lauren's dropping
the J-Lo connect.
And now we're talking. But no, seriously, it's like an Eddie Bauer edition uniform. It's the worst.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 in honor of Tyler and Kaylee's birthday. Your favorite car? Go. You got like 10 more minutes. Again, they're not getting one. We'll be back.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Deshaun Watson saga continues as one of the women suing dropped her suit while another has filed. That keeps the total at 22. And Deshaun Watson isn't the only NFL superstar with legal trouble. Rams defensive tackle phenom Aaron Donald is in some possible hot water after an altercation at a Pittsburgh after-hours establishment. The alleged victim, DeVincent Spriggs, needed 16 stitches and suffered a broken orbital bone, a broken nose, a concussion, and a sprained or broken arm, according to his attorney, Todd J. Hollis. And in MLB, Chicago White Sox lefty Carlos Rodon almost threw a perfect game last night, but still ended up throwing a no-hitter, the first of his career, and an 8-0 win over the Cleveland Indians last night. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Would you like to be the man you used to be? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. 98% of their patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Listen to Dr. Brown, a specialist in men's health.
Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications for ED or PE designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, not a problem. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? So that I can go back to church.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com. You already save hundreds of dollars on golfing some of the region's best courses with the Dream 18 card. In celebration of professional golf's biggest event, this week you can save even more. The Dream 18 card, regular price $95. Right now, while supplies last, you can get it for just $69. For a limited time, save even more on discounted golf at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Osprey Cove, Hidden Hills, Queens Harbor, Amelia River, Eagle Landing, and Fleming Island. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase. $69 this week only. The Dream 18 card.
Vacations are coming back, so before you hit the road, get your vehicle checked out by the pros at Honda of the Avenues. Honda of the Avenues service Service Department continues to get 5 stars for their certified technicians using certified parts. The new Express Service Center is now open, so stop by if you need an oil change, tires, battery, wiper blades, or if you need any repairs to your vehicle. Awarded the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award. Honda of the Avenues. Easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Stone Cold Steve Austin doing a great job here on the show. Filling in.
Yep.
Not for Austin Lane, for Coos.
No, for sure. If you want to fill in for me too, you can one day.
One day.
I can give you my
Didn't
schedule.
kind of make that seem like one day you'll graduate to where you can fill in for me.
It's like when that one kid, when my kid took my spot for a couple days. 11. Oh, how old is 12-year-old?
14-year-old.
I was way off. 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's like, any advice? I'm like, yeah.
I saw Noah yesterday.
No, I'm telling you what Brent told me. Stay out of my way.
Stay out of my way.
Hey, just stay out of my way, man.
The coolest thing about Noah.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing great.
Good.
And so the kids were hitting yesterday at a field we don't normally go to, and there was a ball game going on.
Yeah.
And driving out of the parking lot, Noah was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
He was just playing a ball game.
That's awesome.
Right? So he's playing a baseball game and leaving. So I see Noah everywhere. See him at the Creekside games, and now he's playing at his own games. And
visibility, Brent. It's big in terms of branding, man. I see you, Noah.
Free shout out to Noah. Check out his YouTube page.
Yeah.
Noah Schlicks Up.
Mm-hmm.
Schlick on Sports, I believe it is. Look it up. You'll find it. No problem. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and Steve Austin here on the
Did you go by Steven or Steve? Because you by Steven, right?
I went by, I think it was in middle school, I decided, hey, I need people to start calling me Steve because that's adult. And then once everybody started calling me Stone Cold Steve Austin, I was like, call me Steven.
Steven, I got you. Okay. Because I know Stuart. Stuart hates to be called Stu.
Hates it.
Like he can't stand it.
Hates it so
biggest
much
pet peeve.
that you kind of enjoy doing it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to disrespect him like that, but you do that to him sometimes?
The greatest thing about Stuart and the Stu part was, so we know that he doesn't like to be called Stu, so we call him Stuart.
Well, by the way, the first time I ever really met him, I'm like, oh, what's up, Stu? He's like, actually, it's Stuart, right? Because my name's like an art. I'm like, okay, got it, man. That's all I got to say,
Stuart
dude.
Without
Stuart
the art.
I respect it.
But anyway, our general manager, the big boss on the TV side at the time, would for years, every time he saw him, called him, "What's up, Stu?" Well, Weber's not going to say that.
No,
don't call me that.
No.
So it classic,
you learn to tolerate it, sir.
We had a great relationship with him, and so after like a couple of years of doing it, we're like, hey, he hates Stu.
Yeah,
hates it.
Yeah,
he's like, I don't care. Kept calling him Stu. It's awesome. It was great.
Oh man, I love
it. Will Zach Ertz get traded from the Eagles before the draft? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. It's like a security blanket, but I'm not saying is he coming to Jacksonville. Is he going to be on the move?
Do you want like sunshine and rainbows, Austin, or do you want what I really think? I don't think he's going to get traded. No. Sunshine and rainbows, Austin says yes. I don't know. I think that if it hasn't happened yet, like we're getting close to the draft here. And I feel like if there's an interest at the tight end position, we at least would have heard something by now. Yeah. All we hear is from his side.
We had some blockbusters, right? It was Miami and Philly. And then San Francisco jumped in the fold. And I think we would know by now. The reason why I think these trades happen earlier is because teams want time to prepare for all the scenarios that could go in place. Yeah. Now, we got 2 weeks until the draft. There's still plenty of time for scenarios to play out. I would think the way these things work on the draft board is the Jags have a feeling what people are going to do from 1 to 32. Like they have like a guesstimate. They could go here. They could go here. This opens up scenarios here. We got to be prepared for this. What if this team jumps here? They know that. That's part of it. You better handicap the field. I mean, that's like going to play blackjack
for sure,
or the World Series of Poker, and not doing any homework on your opponent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
correct.
You got to do that. And so from that sense, I don't know if there's an immediacy and you have to do something like by a certain deadline, if you don't want to overpay to do that. You don't want to show your hand doing that. But I do think teams like to move earlier rather than later, because then there's more planning that can be done, more vetting that can be done, more scenarios to play out.
Yeah.
You have less time to do that if it happens the day before the draft, obviously.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they haven't vetted the scenarios out. They know. Let's just take the Jags. The Jags know, or the Eagles for this instance. Jags know, hey, the Jags might be Eagles know the Jags might be interested.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles know, just throw a name out, the Texans might be interested. And the Rams might be interested, right?
Yeah.
Well, so they know those are the three dance partners potentially. Maybe there's a surprise team that sneaks in there, but probably not. They've eliminated the Patriots and all these other teams.
Yep.
So that's why it's not necessarily, hey, you got to do it by Wednesday.
Yeah.
I would say I still feel like it felt like Ertz wanted out. I feel like Ertz has done enough. I feel like at some point they're going to get him out of there. I don't know if it's before the draft, but I think I would put some money on that he still moves.
See, I
Not
just
Orlando Brown. That thing is squashed. That thing seems like boom, quiet. And he's such a good player.
Smoke.
You're not going to give him away and get him out of there.
But do you think he's going to agree and play right tackle again? He almost has to, right?
I think it
I feel
feels
like the
like
Ravens
it's
have all
so
the
quiet
power.
over there that maybe they've talked him into it, and they've come to be like, listen, man, we
Yeah.
can go win. We need you, but we got to win. And you're a big part of it. We think you can be great over here.
I think the Ravens have all the power there. And I think with Zach Ertz, like, I get what you're saying, man, but you look at Carson Wentz. He wanted out. Carson Wentz got out. Like there was rumblings there. I get it's a different position. I think after all Zach Ertz has done for that organization, obviously I think he's well respected in that locker room still. And if he said that he wants out, you feel like the Eagles would do right by him and release him. Or not release him, but trade him. And we haven't really heard that yet.
Yeah. All right. Happy birthday to Ty and Kaylee.
Yeah, happy birthday.
For them, what's your favorite car you've had? What was yours?
Mine was a 1979 Lincoln Continental.
Yours is your current car, Steve Austin.
Current car until I get my dream car.
Living the dream.
I honestly don't remember the year. I think it was like 86 or 87. Nissan SRX.
There it
that
is.
thing could fly, man. And
Looking
the
it
other
up
thing
right
is I
now.
had that radio that it didn't have a radio. So I had to go buy one and plug it in. Remember those? And then you could remove them.
because I'm 33.
No, you could remove them because they kept getting stolen out of people's cars.
No, yeah.
So I removed. You just plug it in, boom, get it out of there. I never took it out of the car. I just hit it under the seat. See, that fooled all you guys in Rhode Island, dummies. Kids are not getting a car. Hope you have a great day, everybody. CBS 47,
Happy
Fox
birthday,
30.
not
Good
getting a
luck to
car.
Renaya Davis tonight as she gets picked in the WNBA draft. Live, local, loud coming up next.
Boss! Crooks R Us just put out a special bulletin about Safe Touch security.
Special bulletin about Safe Touch. Oh, this is gonna fire up my ulcer, I know it.
Boss, the headline says, Safe Touch Security has announced their new advanced video surveillance system.
Oh, here it comes.
Oof, this is huge. It's a multi-camera interior and exterior professional surveillance system with 24/7 video storage.
Great. Just what we need is Safe Touch up in their game again.
Boss, this is next level. I think Fort Knox would be jealous of this thing.
Deep breaths. They can keep their fancy camera system. It doesn't change the Crooks R Us golden rule one bit. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Nope, doesn't change it, but it sure underlines it.
Just get me a glass of milk, will ya?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you looking for a venue to celebrate your special occasion that guests can't stop talking about? Call Riverside North Special Events and Banquet Hall. We specialize in anniversaries, weddings, birthday parties, corporate meetings, family reunions, fundraisers, graduations, and funerals. This unique, all-inclusive, full-service venue is the way to go. Call us today at 354-4162 and let us book your next event. All proceeds from bookings benefit the Clara White Mission.